Good evening, folks. Hello, welcome to Hint Plays Tabletop Role-Playing Games. In a sudden change to format, we're all trying to go live at the same time with the same intro from the GM. I was only briefed on this 10 minutes ago, so this is a little winged because I wasn't planning it or preparing it. Hello, how are you all across all three streams?
Yeah. Intro is fine.
And as my first seat as GM during the new rotational structure, we're creating characters for a Warhammer fantasy role-playing session I'm going to be running. I've christened it Mercenaries of Middenheim because, A, we're setting it in Middenheim, the city of the White Wolf, which is a fairly well padded out city in terms of source material. So there's plenty of things for me to play with and to throw at you guys. And also it's got a nice positioning in terms of chaos to the north, dark forest full of nasties to the south, and general nastiness within the city itself, including lots of tunnels where there might be rats.
Oh, good.
Wacko.
If you've ever watched, seen, or played Vermintide, you'll know what I'm talking about, because that's set in the same game universe. I believe Vermintide is a few years in advance of where we're going to be playing. I think the end times is like a few decades away.
It's an interesting one because I don't think there is a set "this is when it is" time attributed to the end times in the games. I think they've left it a bit vague, which is fine by me.
Yeah, that works.
I don't know how canon the end times actually are.
Well, we're not playing within the end time, so there's no need to worry about quite that many rats.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, when you say nice location, it's hellscape, 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 and underground hellscape. So
hello, Frici.
It does come down to
Hello,
who
Frici.
in Satan's name decided to build it.
Well, it's nicely elevated. It's on the top of a mountain, basically, a flat top mountain. The founder of the city basically had to find a dwarf to build him tunnels to get to it, to build the city there. It's well defended. It survived plagues. It survived all sorts.
There's a whole history for this city in this fantastic book, Warhammer City, published by Games Workshop in ago. Looking for a date. I'm looking for an oh bloody hell.
1980 what?
I'm hoping it's the 80s.
87 for this one.
Oh, that's positively late.
Yes, it's about a year before Dark Future.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not actually helping. So
that is where we are, and the reason it's Mercenaries of Middenheim is in order to avoid the always uncomfortable initial start of, so how do you guys get to know each other? Do you know, you'll just meet in a pub and go, yeah, they seem like cool dudes. We're skipping that bit to a certain degree. We're deciding in advance that they are starting the game, the story, as a group, as a party of mercenaries who have decided that the best way to get fame, fortune, women, whatever it is they want, land, titles, is to be mercenaries and go out and earn money in a mercenary fashion. How they go about that largely is up to them, and that's where this session 0 comes in. Character creation, because we're not just creating the characters, but the stories of how they got together.
Always fun.
Okay.
And the character creation in Warhammer is quite nicely detailed and has some very nice randomness into it. So when it comes to roles like Mercenaries in Warhammer, ouch. Hello, Zornok. When it comes to things like profession, where it's a die roll, in the past when I've created characters, I've I've been nice to my players and said, whichever way round you prefer.
Yeah, it's a nice way of doing things. It stops the players feeling too railroaded.
Too got at by RNG.
But you're also not going, oh God, which career am I going to be? And everybody mysteriously has all the really good careers that give you loads of great bonuses because you've still only got a choice of 2.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how this is going to go forward. So the first thing, I suppose, do the three of you have a character sheet or notepad, something you can write on?
Right, yes, I have got a character sheet of my own design, although based on a design published during the Hogshead publishing era of this game. Based on a design by Grigor Hutton and copyright Hogshead Publishing 2001.
You're just showing off now. Me, I'm just going to be writing this into a OneNote and sorting it out from there.
So
That
I shall be
works.
filling my character in on this sheet as I go, and that is visible on the Hint Plays channel for anybody who wants to see it.
I don't suppose that's in the shared directory. That would be really, really useful.
It's not yet, but it can be if you give me a moment to copy it.
Well, that gives me a wonderful moment to correct a social faux pas on my part, because I think probably everyone that's in our channels now knows me, knows Drut, knows Fishy.
Oh, God,
But
yes.
However, we are
Up
not
there,
alone.
up in that corner, there's a picture of the Imperial Scout and his trusty steed Fluffington, which is currently taking the avatar of Kikiki, whose voice you will hear in a moment.
Hello there.
There we go.
If you're watching on the Hint Plays channel, you'll notice I don't have that graphic, so we've just got a VC logo and the words "No camera."
Yes, I don't even have that. I simply have a voice from beyond.
Thought about putting a graphic in place there, but I didn't get around to it. Actually, I can do
There will
this
be a
very
more
easily.
appropriate graphic next week once we know what character Kikiki is playing.
Yeah.
For now,
Not next
I
week, but
think
next time.
Kiki.
let's just put the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay logo over the top of the VC logo because it's rather more in keeping.
Yeah, that works.
Unfortunately, without much time to be aware of what my character is, I don't really have much by way of things other than comical replacements
Yes.
for tokens.
Fair enough.
Yes, the Imperial Scout Trooper on top of a hamster is quite interesting.
I created a wolf riding gnome at one point in this. I'm a bit scared now. Fairly sure Otto Traken. No, she was a halfling. Take it back.
No,
So,
Otto
first-
was a dwarf.
Was she?
Yeah.
Short ass. Sorry, carry on.
First choice you guys get to make is, what race are you? Are you human, elf, dwarf, or halfling?
And as we established before the stream started, by random luck and chance, I am going to be a halfling, because I haven't played a halfling in ages.
Well, does he the wizard?
Apparently, Chikaro's hearing no sound in your stream,
Oh.
Drought.
Oh,
Ah!
hey, Jakar in Judge channel. That he
Well-
can't hear yet.
Yeah, I don't know quite why you said that, but
Okay, hang on. Hey, let me just check that. Oh, thank you, OBS, for wetting the bed on that. Much appreciated. So let me just, for the benefit of being able to put this on YouTube shortly, this is Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay character creation. Nightbites is GMing. We have an invisible Kikiki
Hello.
who's going to be joining us as the voice from above because he's not cameraing, and otherwise everybody should know Night and Fishy and me. Although why I'm in the GM chair space, I've just realised when actually Night is doing it. Clearly, I am firing I am firing on all thrusters today. I'm inclined to leave it there, to be honest, because I really can't be bothered to swap the windows out at this stage.
Fair
We'll let it
enough.
stand. It's my stream, then I'll.
And I'll cry if I want to.
Yeah. So this is purely for archiving. But yeah, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, first edition. Going to be playing a mercenaries campaign in Middenheim, which is a doomed city. Well, no, the city's not doomed. Everywhere around it's doomed.
Yeah, Middenheim in its history has survived just about everything else.
And for anyone interested in first edition Warhammer and who has it but hasn't played it, for example, the Power Behind the Throne scenario, which is set in Middenheim and was released alongside the sourcebook that Knight will be using, is one of the best scenarios ever published for any game ever. It is really, really good. The whole scenario plays like one of Drut's house parties, only over an entire city.
Yeah. It's really political, really manipulative,
Yeah.
really good.
And did an excellent job of doing things like you've got plenty of NPCs, obviously, and you've got this long matrix telling you takes place over the course of a festival, and it tells you which NPCs are at which event at which time, all the way through the festival. So right the way through, wherever the PCs decide to go, you know who's there and who they can interact with. It's really, really good.
My God, this sounds like one of my scenarios. Who's
Exactly.
what, where,
Ooh,
when?
I've just realised that I have a typo in my stream title. Trust me. Well done, me.
And Zornok, be careful what you wish for, because I may give them Nurgle.
Oh, no. No.
Update that to the
Not that
correct name
Nurgle's
of the
rot hasn't afflicted just about every streamer in Christendom this year so far.
Yeah.
Oh, don't. It's a great streamer plague. It's ridiculous.
Now, I have
Nice.
considered
Yeah, on the couch.
taking on an elf. However, if we do not receive a human, I think I shall be the token human in the...
You've considered taking on an elf. Why? Do they work for less?
I'm going to be human. I will take one for the team and be boring people.
Humans are not boring, they're adaptable.
Yes. Actually, this is one of those games where that is genuinely true. Humans are not a second-class option in Warhammer.
There's
No.
very few tabletop role plays that I have encountered have a human in the party.
Yeah, as a GM, I always try and make a rule, unless the setting indicates otherwise, that I want at least half the party to be human. I don't always enforce this rule. You can tell that by looking at Swords of Slaughterdeep, for example, where we hadn't got... Well, no, we got one, actually. Lucian was human.
Lucian was human, yes. Yeah.
But that was
good point.
something of an exception, because we were going back to AD&D 2nd edition, and it was really cool, and we wanted to play with fun stuff. But normally I try and make it a rule, if you've got a full-size party at least, that half the party should be human.
To be fair, if you added it up, half the party roughly was human.
Well, if you counted
If you
the
think about
half elf.
Yes, both half elves. That's one human,
So
one
half
elf.
of them was human, yes.
Half of them was human. Lucian, so that's two. Who else was in there? That was it, wasn't
I've
it?
remembered what halflings are for in this game.
Yeah.
I may be slightly skipping ahead here, and
You may be.
rolling my stats up.
Okay, well, if
Because I
you're
know
rolling
I'm a
your
halfling
stats...
and I've got the book in front of me. Because
I
I figure if
have
I
got
get
the book.
mine rolled up, I've got access to read it out to people if they want, for what they need to be rolling. And I'm looking up theirs instead of mine, so I thought I'd get mine done quickly first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I've got the rolls in front of me. So, Kikiki, as an elf, you've got a whole bunch of movement, weapon skill, bow skill, etc. If I read these out to you, are you okay to take notes and start rolling while I then move on to Drut?
I have them up here on the core rulebook.
Excellent. In which case, page 14.
Fish, is this form fillable, or is it simply...
It is not form fillable, unfortunately, no.
Okay.
I'm just
The
putting
advantage
it
of having
on a
Kikiki in the next
separate,
room to me.
You see, this is cheating. I'm also, sorry, I apologise for doing the whole combat ninja thing with the gloves, but it's fucking freezing in here. And I'm not sitting bundled up in a blanket or gaming, because that would just be a weird look.
So, Drut, do you have the stats in front of you as well?
I've got the character sheet in front of me now.
Okay, do you need me to read out the die rolls?
I
think she will need that, and it would be good if we read out the die rolls for at least one player, so that people at home can see how the character creation works.
Indeed, you could.
So,
oh, hello. Sorry, the Zoom just went wrong.
Ooh.
Starter profile, isn't it, that I'm filling in?
Starter profile, indeed, that
Yes.
you are filling in, because that
Okay.
is your starter profile.
M?
So there are 14 stats, abbreviated to M, WS, BS, ST, W, IA, Dex, LD, Int, CL, WP, and FEL.
And no, BS doesn't mean what you think it means.
No, it's not an ability to spin someone a story.
Okay.
So M is movement for a human. Which,
Uh-huh.
that is what you said you were going for, wasn't it, Dre?
It is, yep.
That is D3 plus 2.
D3 plus 2. I am rolling using my double D6s just because I can. And in fact, when it comes to it, welcome to my percentiles. Okay.
People will be pleased to know
Close
that
to
I have the
ballistic skill.
D3
minimum.
plus 2.
Yep.
Woot. Apparently, my runaway like hell score is going to be fantastic.
Alas, I haven't done quite so well. My movement is the minimum I could possibly have rolled.
What's that?
3.
Oh dear.
I've
So
got
So
five.
you've got a
I
ridiculously
rolled
quick
max.
human and a slow elf.
Well, We've evened it up with a fairly average for a halfling at 4.
Fair enough. 3, 4, 5. Okay.
Where I'm going horrifyingly wrong, however, is I rolled minimum toughness. I'm going to be staying away from all the fights, guys.
Okay, weapon
So,
skill.
weapon skill, 2d10 plus 20.
Oh, bug off.
Now, halflings only get 2d10 plus 10.
Indeed. Elves get 2d10 plus 30.
So I've come out with a 23 weapon skill.
I may be,
I like this character.
I may be immensely slow, but I've come out with a 48 weapon skill.
Well
so-
done.
Okay,
bad.
yeah.
did you-
39.
Not too bad.
Only rolled 19.
Only rolled 19 on 2d10.
Yes.
So
That's
ballistic
maximum.
skill.
Near
The
maximum.
winds of magic, Zornok, had not yet been invented when this game was published. They were detailed. The beginnings of their existence was detailed towards the end of first edition in one of the supplements, originally in White Dwarf, but it wasn't actually a thing. They hadn't created that yet when first edition was published. So probably Knight does have the rules because he got the bundle, if I remember rightly, from Bundle of Holding, which
Bundle of
contains most of first edition. So it may be there, but I don't know for certain.
Well, I also have the minimum wound value.
Oh dear. So Trot,
What's
your ballistic skill is 2d10 plus 20.
Okay. Oh, that's pants. Okay.
So Drut's not going to be reaching for a bow anytime soon.
28. No.
That's not too bad.
A 2 and a 6. That's
Yeah,
not
just-
great.
It's just a little shy of average.
Shy, it's hiding in the corner, not wanting to dance.
So your strength will be d3 plus 1.
Yay.
The halfling is the only one that doesn't get that, just gets a straight d3.
Excellent stuff.
Yeah. Actually strong for a halfling, but really,
Yeah.
really wussy. 3 strength, 1 toughness. It's
Hey, yikes.
Glass cannon.
very much a glass cannon in halfling terms.
Oh, good lords, that's some dexterity. That is a 19 on the dice.
Ooh.
Okay, what's
So toughness, d3 plus 1.
D3 plus 1? Okay. Yay.
I'm liking the sound of the yays coming from Drut's corner. I think we have a moderately tough human that can't do ranged weapons. It sounds like Drut's rolling a tank.
Ballistic skill 28.
Well, in the old world, that would be a
Strength
panzer.
4. Yes. Strength 4. Toughness 4.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Well, maximum on both.
So wounds, d3 plus 4.
See, as I rolled the 2.
D3 plus 4.
Yeah.
You're adding my wounds to the dice.
And hello, Meki.
Hey, Mickey.
Hello, Meggy and I, yes.
6. So 7 then. D3 plus 4.
There we go. Random NPCs.
This is stupid. I was rolling ridiculously.
How have you
Well,
done on
So, initiative,
Right.
2d10 plus 20. How
This
you
is
doing,
where
Mickey?
it goes.
I was actually going to randomise my character almost completely, but looking, they don't actually have a die roll in the book for gender, so I'm just going to have to roll odds
Just a
for
coin?
male, evens for female,
Yeah.
I suppose.
Okay.
Okay, attacks is
Female
1.
it
There's
is.
no die roll for attacks. You get
Okay.
1 attack per round.
Yay. And that will not be ballistic with me.
Do you realise
That gets
my character
boosted
sheet
with
does not
various
have a
careers
space
as
for
you go
gender?
down the line. Dexterity, once again, 2d10 plus 20. In fact, the remainder of your stats, Drut, are 2d10 plus 20.
Okay.
That's dexterity, leadership, intelligence, cool, willpower, and fellowship.
That's another 39.
Bloody hell.
Well, I've just rolled my leadership and intelligence, both of which are 2d10, and not yet rolled over 10 in total.
Oh dear.
The halfling's going to be the leader.
You haven't seen my leadership score, have you?
You haven't seen mine, mate.
Oh dear.
Is yours higher than 17?
Oh.
It can't be. She's got a base plus of 20.
Halflings only get a plus 10.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
Oh.
My leadership is less than you're adding to your die roll.
Ooh.
Am I going to have the highest
Looks
leadership
good from here,
Probably.
Zorlok.
We're going to be relying entirely on you, Kiki.
with a natural roll of 3?
35.
So basically, mental stat-wise, you guys are thrilled.
No, not well.
I've got a reasonably good
Focus.
fellowship. Not bad willpower.
Oh, this is ridiculous. No, I'm going to be rolling really pants in game.
My initiative is kick-ass. I'm a halfling. That's the only thing halflings get.
Sorry, I have a 40. As a happy bunny.
You have a 40.
I have
I
a
did
40.
pretty
I'll
well.
look at your DM after the stream, Jakar, but given that after the creation session, the next game session will be in 3 weeks' time. Because Fish will run a session,
Next
then
week
Drat will
will
run
be
a session.
Coriolis, then the week after that will be Drat running Nibiru, then we're back to this for the first session of actual play. So that gives time
you,
if
if you
people
want
do
to
want to join in.
Yeah,
Sorry,
absolutely.
I'm talking over the GM there, which is a very bad habit, and I should stop doing it.
Naughty Fish, back in your box.
Yeah, back in your tank.
Yeah, if you do want to join and fill in one of those positions vacant over that side, then yeah, I'll reply to your DM and we'll work something out off stream.
Mm-hmm. On those last few stats, by the way, Dexterity 39,
Nice.
Leadership 29,
Not so nice.
which is pants for a human,
Yeah,
Intelligence 35,
not bad.
CL,
Cool.
Cool 38, Willpower
Expect me
40.
to run away a lot.
Yeah, Willpower 40,
Very
and,
nice.
and Fellowship 35.
So that's basically sort of leadership material, pep squad.
Yeah.
You're not going to run away from a damn thing.
No, I'll keep my cool and be able to run away coherently. I won't be fleeing, waving my arms in the air and screaming.
With both rolls combining to a total of, I think, like 8 or 9 there, I have a leadership of 33 and an intelligence of 45.
Sheesh. So very hot
So-
for what I get.
Drut.
Yo.
Stat-wise, they've only given us... Sorry, Kikiki, you've got the book in front of you, but it only gives stats for Wood Elves. So do
Yes.
make a note of your speech as Old Welder and Eltharin, your night vision, and if you want to generate your height, 5'6" plus d10 inches if your character is male, or 5'4" plus d10 inches if your character is female.
Aha, I am a clear 6 foot.
Nice.
I've
Drut.
met you. No, you're not.
You speak Old Welder.
Okay.
You have 0 night vision.
Mhm.
And are you playing a female or a male character?
I think I'm going to go female because I tend to create blokes for Warhammer. Overall.
Then
So,
your height
okay.
is 5 feet plus d10 inches.
I have got a really tall halfling.
Yeah?
Yeah. The only thing I rolled maximum on. She is actually 4 feet tall.
Bang average, 5'5".
I noticed for a human in the old world, it's impossible to be 5'11" or taller.
Yes, for those anyone of Germanic tendencies, whatever, in chat, if anyone wants to start chucking in female names, culturally appropriate female names, that would be cool because I'm rotten at them.
We have
There's
got,
a few of those
should
in
we
the
wish to use it, the character
character
pack.
pack.
This is a photocopy because I'm saving the original because this was released in like 1986, 87, something like that. And it's the most commonly used part of the game almost. So
I need names.
I'm
for
working
that.
from
Oh,
a
look.
photocopy of my original, which is sat just there. But this has got tables for names. It's also got advanced tables for description. You can roll for a build and then determine your weight based on your height and build. And you can get distinctive features, which is where the traditional good old-fashioned barrel-chested elf, which inevitably gets rolled, comes in. I don't think I've ever run a game of this that hasn't had a barrel-chested elf. I
What a
rolled
concept.
I'm doing my character randomly, Mechiador. I rolled it. Brunhilde is the name. I rolled a female halfling called Brunhilde. I haven't got a surname yet. There's no random table for that, so we'll have to come up with something suitable.
Fish, what's the table for female names?
It's a D1000.
D1000 for female humans?
For female humans, it's a D1000, yes.
Let me just drop my font size down to where honey
The character
belongs.
pack does a lot of extra randomness in terms of character creation.
Yeah, it's a really, really good thing.
As well as giving you weight, it goes down to hair colour, eye colour.
Yeah. All done by race, of course.
Well,
Also lets
I
you
may,
roll for where you were born, things like that.
I may join you on this randomization, in fact.
Excellent.
It's a random
not
game. It's fun to create your character randomly because you get
I'm
random
not
starting
saying-
careers anyway. So
Oh, okay, Fish.
yeah,
Basically it's D999, isn't it, for D1000? Hundreds, tens, and units.
well, it goes up to 1,000. 000 is 1,000.
Yeah, true. 0, 1, 2.
So 12, in other words.
12
probably
of
done
the
the job.
D1000.
Agneta. Depending on how you wish to pronounce it, because depending on language gives you different pronunciations for. But Agnetha, if you
Okay.
want it in Thanet.
Oh, ew.
And, Fishy, could you provide me with a wood elf name under the number 943?
Now, wood elves are done differently.
Oh,
Wood elves, you instead, what it's got a table with 2 columns,
You get a prefix and a suffix.
which is a prefix and a suffix, yeah. If you want a posh name, you have more than one, basically. So you can go like prefix, suffix if you want a more posh sounding name, or you can just go for a standard prefix and suffix. Either way, it's D100 for each of them.
right, okay. Let's take 94 for the first one.
Right, 94 is Urdi or Urdith, URDI, and an optional TH, which you can decide whether you want to use that when you know what the suffix is, I suppose.
Okay, and the suffix, I shall have a 22.
A 22 is Cora or Coral, Cora, and an optional L.
Urdith Coral, huh?
Yep. Probably Urdith Corel, maybe. Trying to pronounce it
Or,
elvishly.
Let's get rid of the th. Let's go with Dickerel. No,
Dickerel.
no, that's
You're a dick, Corel.
let's not do that.
I'm sure that sounded better in your head when you came.
It very much did. Let's go with Odithsaral.
Oh, I have to go Poe. I'm going to have to go Poe. I'm changing from Agneta.
Okay.
So, what was your name in the end, Kiki?
If you wanted the alternative, by the way, if you read your dice the other way around, you get Dagmar.
I shall
No, you're all right.
I shall put it in Discord for you since it is
Thank you.
probably easier.
No, Mackie chucked in a list of suggested names, and one's just leapt out at me because I'm an Edgar Allan Poe fan.
Now, Fishy, what was your one? Brunhilde. That's going to really confuse people.
I was looking forward to seeing what name number 943 was.
And what did you go with in the end, Rup?
Lenore von Ritter.
Ah, so right, okay.
Yes. If I get the noble on my rolls later on, I shall potentially add another prefix.
No. Sorry, Fish, did I confuse you?
No, it's okay. I'd written in Agneta, that's all.
Yeah, I was going to use
Right.
Agneta, and then I spotted Lenore in the list that Mackie put up, and I thought, yes, got to use that.
So, we have names, we have some basic stats. Let's take a look at what else we can give you before we start going into career classes and skills and such.
Yep.
So, first off, fate points. Everyone
Oh.
gets a number of fate points.
My fate, my fate.
Humans, you get D3 plus 1.
Where's the fate points?
Elves, you have D3 minus 1.
Roger that. I shall have 2.
Halflings, you have D4.
because you have no chance without fate points.
Did you say
That's what
D3
it
plus
technically
1?
comes out as.
Yeah, D3 plus 1.
Okay, where the hell do you list your fate points?
On the second sheet, top right.
On if you're using my character sheet, it's down at the right-hand side. Now, down near the bottom, there are little checkboxes for you
Just to
to
confuse people.
tick them in.
Ah, there we go. Yep, sorry, that's all right. I've been past it 3 times.
And I haven't got a D4 out, so I better find one.
Okay.
It's probably the only thing that uses a D4 in the entire game.
I think it is. Yeah, I can't think of anything else that does. However, I have my Nibiru dice here, which is all D4s.
Hey.
So
Well, I've come out with 3.
That's not bad.
On the D3 plus 1.
That's about average.
Yeah.
So, who wants to try and guess? Guess? Who wants to try and guess how many fate points I got on a D4?
1.
Wrong. I actually got 4. I might live.
God. Good lord.
Fishy rolls max on dice. You know what that means, don't you?
Pants
You're
in the game.
screwed in the game.
Yep.
To make up for the really crap rolls I got elsewhere. That's what it is.
So let's take a look at your build. Are we all randomizing the background and physicality, and or are you?
Yes. So long as you allow us to roll both, to take either way.
So build is on a D6, a single D6.
Gonna regret this.
Oh, I will have a 6.
For an elf, that is average.
Oh, fantastic.
6.
Okay.
And in
for a
the
human,
inner die was 6.
For a human, 6 is massive.
Great.
For a halfling,
Sorry, my machine is deciding to be a pain in the arse. And that's better. Maybe.
Where is build on this character sheet?
It's not actually
it's
on the
not, 'cause
character
it's an
sheet.
expanded-
It's
from expansion.
Yeah.
Ah, that is fine.
so just make a note.
So
Thing
I'm
is,
just
I can
putting it in
cope with
description.
massive because I've just rolled maximum toughness, maximum strength.
It kind of fits. It does give you plus 20 to your weight roll.
Okay, quick
She is so all muscle.
piece of advice in the Hint Plays channel: don't bother typing game rules because I haven't written them. I mean, there may be a file that it will look up, but it won't have been written for this game. It will just be left over and imported from my own channel.
However, welcome done, James.
Yes,
I
welcome indeed.
have.
Yeah, welcome done, James. Hello.
Right,
And fair play for
D6 for my build.
Roll the
It is
6. Everybody on the
average.
6.
I got 2. I am on average
Oh.
build.
You are indeed on
Because
average build, which means
halflings
you
are
get
the
no
anti-elves
modifiers.
when it comes to build.
So, in terms of mass, I dislike the use of word weight, but it is that's the A-level physics in me coming through.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, mass weight is done on a D100, which for
And there are
Drops.
modifiers for height based on your race.
Okay. Human 5'5".
there are
Any-
indeed, yes, human 5'5".
Human
Uh,
5'5". That makes sense.
Human 5'5", minus 20 pounds.
So basically, I'm on straight on the die.
You're on a straight roll.
And what for 6-foot elves?
6 foot exactly, plus 10 pounds.
Okay, and that is a 41 on the die, so that is 61 pounds.
Elf 41 on the die is
That's very little.
It is very little. Elf.
that's very little.
Any elves?
Are you rolling
No,
weight from the core rulebook?
I'm cross-referencing on a table, Kikiki.
Ah, fantastic.
So the 41 on the die registers 120 pounds plus your 150 pounds. If you want your dice the other way round to be a 14, that instead would make you 110 pounds if you want to be on the thin side for an elf.
I have a die with 10s and a die with single digits, and I'm working off that.
Yeah, I'm cross-referencing on a table, so Whichever way round you want it, you can be £110 or £150.
I'm sticking with the 150. I have the slowest possible move speed. Let's go with it.
64 or 46?
64 would be 155, 46 would be 150.
No. 155 it is. I established she's pretty much all muscle. Well, it's not exactly excessive.
I just escaped being underweight.
I think we can safely say that, Lenore is built like the proverbial brick privy.
How much did you come out as?
155. Which is not, it's not stupid.
Oh no.
It's
No,
not
you
stupid.
you qualify as overweight if you're 200 pounds or more for a human.
Yeah, but as I said, since she's kicking around with a massive build, 155-pound weight and 4 strength, which is maximum for a human.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've somehow got this really strong, skinny wretch.
I've got a gym bunny.
This explains the 1 toughness, but doesn't explain the 3 strength at all.
I have
It's all
no clue
leverage,
what's wrong
clearly.
No clue what's wrong with my elf. He must have like one leg longer than the other or something.
That's because he stands up trees and they're uneven branches.
They've affected his growth.
Exactly.
Ooh, there are additional modifiers based on gender.
Oh, okay.
Raise your hand if you are playing a female character. Okay, you two. On your weight, there is an additional modifier. Druck, can you roll me a d6, please?
Sure.
In fact, both roll a d6.
4.
4, okay, minus d10 pounds.
Okay.
And
One.
Fishy,
Big freaking deal.
154 pounds.
Yep.
I'm trying to find the gender table.
It's right below the height modifier. Same page.
Oh yeah, so it is. Yeah. So d6 for a halfling.
Speak.
Okay, rolled a 5, which is no modifier. That's handy. It means I don't have
Fair
to
enough.
take anything.
Good
Which is
stuff.
probably a good job, because if I had dropped down, I was in danger of hitting the underweight, which were it possible to happen, any underweight result would have put me at 0 toughness. At which point, this is a character who didn't make it through childhood. I thought it was only. I thought it was only in Traveller that you could die in character creation, but apparently it's possible for a female halfling in Warhammer.
It's possible here too.
Yeah. Yes. So mind you,
Hair colour.
mine comes out 11 stone. I will live.
That's not bad.
So there are no
That's
additional
good.
modifiers for males then.
No, the previous set of stats assume a male
And
character.
elves
so
have no modifiers anyway. Male
No.
and female elves are built exactly the same. Often, even when you take all their clothes off, you can't tell the difference.
I was about to say they're fairly androgynous generally. So, hair colour and eye colour next.
Right.
Let's go through the whole randomisation thing. We'll
I
get some
have
really
got
random
dark
characters
brown
here.
hair.
So this is done on a percentile. So again, you've got the choice of flipping the dice round as you see fit.
91 or
Rolling
19?
randomly.
91 gives you, as a human, gives you either sienna hair or silver hair.
I was going to be silver.
Sienna Hair, isn't that an actress?
Yes.
I shall
You
take
have to be
a
18 to know who she is.
59.
Yes.
So what did you say, Kiki?
I said I shall take a 59.
A 59 gives you, as an elf, light brown. If you take that as a 95, you have the option of black.
I mean, this elf's just turning out to be the most average thing.
It's James Bond elf.
Really
Perfect
expensive in James
secret
Bond.
agent. Oh, yeah.
So eye
For
colour.
those who don't know the old James Bond RPG from possibly Victory Games, your
That's going back
appearance
a few
was
years.
purchased using points in character creation, and the more normal your appearance, the more expensive it was. Because spies that stand out are a bad thing, so it was really expensive to be boring and someone who couldn't be picked out of the crowd.
Yeah, I remember creating characters for that. I don't think I ever played, but I do remember creating characters.
I think we played it once and the session sabotaged itself right at the beginning and didn't go any further.
Fair enough.
I mean, I guess you can reduce the cost of your character by having a tattoo of a banana on both cheeks, but then it goes a bit Johnny English.
Okay.
Yes, that would be very Johnny English indeed. Eye colour, again done on a percentile.
Yeah, let's move swiftly on that.
Indeed.
Yeah. Well, what is 99?
It's one away from 100 and purple whichever way you go.
Excellent. Silver hair, purple eyes. I'm stuffed for undercover work.
You're a drow.
Let's have a
That's fine.
21.
So say that again, Kiki.
21.
21 would be blue eyes, or if you flip it over and be 12, you get grey blue.
Ah, so blue or blue. Fantastic.
Yeah, blue or pale blue.
So Brunhilde was born in the Moot.
Fishy's gone further ahead and got location.
Yep.
What colour hair and eyes did Brunhilde end up with?
Dark brown, dark brown. She's really
Okay.
boring. But she's very tall to make up for it.
Right, do people want distinguishing characteristics?
I
Bear in
certainly
mind,
do.
these
They're
could
brilliant.
have an effect on your stats. It is
No.
possible to have a scar that will reduce your fellowship, one eye that will halve your ballistic skill, huge frame which will give you an extra percentage on your weight.
So
As with a
D6
big
minus
belly.
2, rolling that now. 4! Maximum distinguishing characteristics, inevitably.
Is that
So-
D6 minus 2?
That is a
D6 minus 2.
Let's see what we get.
Just, Meki in the Him Plays chat, I think of creating a flaming witcher. Silver hair, purple eyes.
It's either a witcher or a drow, depending on...
I am very disappointed with the quality of fan art for The Witcher, by the way.
Yeah?
Very, very rarely do you see, or character art for that matter, very, very, very rarely do you see a picture of a character who is a Witcher and doesn't have white hair. That's only Geralt. Play the damn games! None of the others have it!
It's Geralt and Ciri to a certain extent. But, yeah.
Ciri's a different case.
Ciri's a different case to everything.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Oh, and for fans of The Witcher, by the way, who are in the UK, if it's still on, today Amazon Co UK had a deal of the day on Witcher novels on Kindle for 99p each. So if you're interested, take a look, see if they're still there.
I may take a look after the stream.
Yep, I was able to complete my collection.
So, Kiki, how many distinguishing characteristics did you get?
I got 2.
Okay, again, it's all done on percentile, and we can flip it around whichever way. So, let's have your first
I
one.
believe.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't roll 38 to 40 because it doesn't exist. They somehow left it off the chart.
Well, that's fine.
got
I shall have an
4.
82.
82 would be a loud voice,
Oh,
or 28 would be... Where's 28? Bald.
bald with light brown hair.
It's your eyebrows.
The loud voice will give you +5 to leadership, -5 to fellowship.
I think I can
That
see
is
where
fine.
my character is going.
Yeah?
First roll, very white teeth, +5 fellowship. I'm up to 50 fellowship.
Sheesh, you are the face.
We've got another
That's not the
talker.
face man.
We've got another
Hey,
Famous
Mark
Mark 2.
Your second roll,
Yes.
Yep, I'll have an 18, please.
18, gives you an attractive face, plus
Oh.
10 fellowship, or if you take the 81, that would be a loud voice.
Can I have 2 loud voices?
Really loud.
No.
You're the person I don't want to be next to on the bus.
So that would be an attractive face, which gives you plus 10 fellowship.
So I come out there with a net positive.
Yes. That's Brian. Yeah, Brian Blessed has double loud voice.
Oh god, yes. Okay.
Right, what do we get with you?
I've got 4 to roll.
Okay, let's get started.
Because I rolled a 6. Because the world hates me. 3 or 30.
3 or 30. Okay, 3 is a flat nose, no modifiers. 30 is bald, no modifiers. Although you would then lose the silver hair.
Yeah, it would be eyebrows. I've never gone with bald including your eyebrows because that's just silly.
And then sweat drops in your eyes and gets really uncomfortable.
And I guess, so yeah, it's a whole weird thing anyway. Define flat nose.
It's one that is kind of flat.
It does sort of go with the whole big, bulky bruiser look.
I don't think she's been hit in the face that often. I'm going to go with bald.
I've just lost 10 points from one of my highest stats.
Oh no!
Yeah.
My second highest stat. Sorry, no, my third highest stat. My initiative was really high as well. I had a 52, a 50, and a 45. Now I've got a 52, a 50, and a 35. And one arm.
Well,
Oh no!
Brunhilde is missing her left arm. I've decided it's left. I don't know if there's a role for it, but I don't care. I've decided it's left.
Is she also left-handed?
No.
That's why he's decided it's the left arm that's
That was definitely. Okay,
No,
second
number 2.
one. 17 or 71?
17 gives you charismatic eyes for plus 10 fellowship, or a lisp for minus 10 fellowship.
Got to be 71. Sorry, 17. It's got to be the charismatic eyes.
well,
Because you'd get really, really annoyed while playing the lisp.
Yes.
I have gone from being the most leadership inclined character in the party with a roll one shy of being the minimum to being the most leadership qualified person in the party because I am good at shouting.
Excellent. Yes.
Plus 10 to
Shout, shout,
fellowship,
and
by the way.
shout again.
Was the eyes thing plus 10 to fellowship or plus
It
5?
was plus 10 to fellowship.
Okay. Third roll is in the dead zone. Right, okay. Glad you said that. Oh my god. 95 or 59. This could get nasty.
Okay, 95. Short legs, minus 1 movement.
Nice.
I got that as well. I'm maximum height with short legs. It's a weird looking woman.
Or 50, scarred skin, minus 10 fellowship.
Well, I rolled maximum on movement, so I'm not too worried.
Okay, short legs.
Short legs, or more probably disproportionately long torso. Which works out to roughly the same thing.
Meanwhile, Meki thinks that Fish's character's a chihuahua.
Could be worse, could be a corgi. Right, and the last one. Okie dokie. Thank you. So that is a 39 or a 93.
93 would be even shorter legs.
Stuff that.
39 is in the dead zone.
Ah, no, I don't like that.
So but you get psychometry and can see the past by touching objects. I mean, that's really useful.
I'll tell you what, I will take a
Because it gives you one
as
you've
an
already got.
alternate.
Or,
Yeah, I'm not happy with the one I've already got, with taking double on your one I've already got.
no, doubling up I think is a bad idea. Reroll because it's either.
Yeah. So, 27 or 72.
Okay, 72 would be a lisp. 27 would be a limp.
Fantastic. Does that knack your movement again?
Minus 1 movement.
Oh, fantastic.
And the lisp has a minus 10 fellowship.
Yeah. Oh, bollocks.
Yeah, these tables can be a bit harsh sometimes.
Yeah.
These tables can be a bit shitty, really, can't they? Yeah.
Has that pulled everyone down to my level when it comes to movement?
Well, I'm on 3 now.
Yes,
brilliant. Oh, fantastic. We're all on 3.
Well, that's okay. We won't have to worry about waiting for the slowest member of the party.
Struth.
I'm not very good at walking, so I travel with people who have short legs and a limp.
Yep.
You realise you are forcing me to wear high heel boots.
Or platforms.
Platforms, yes.
No. There speaks a man who's never worn platforms. I assume. But, no. I think we're talking
I
block
don't know, he is
heels
a drummer. I mean, who knows what kind of weird things he's got up to.
I thought the standard thing there was bare feet, from what I've seen.
Socks normally.
Ah.
Which is why I have shoe insoles taped to my drum pedals so that I don't get cold feet.
Recommendation, yoga socks.
Bare feet doesn't work so well
Thermal,
with drums. You damage the pedals.
insulating. Yeah, thermal, insulating, non-slip dots on the bottom.
That's no good. I need to be able to slip.
You need to be able to
One of
slide
the
that.
techniques
Right.
for getting faster beats on the bass drum, and technically the hi-hat, is a sliding technique on the pedal. So you stomp on the pedal, and then as your foot slides back, you tap it down again. So you've got a lot of slide going on with the foot to move it around on the pedal.
Ah.
So a quick ahead, again, skipping ahead a page in the rulebook. I'm just going to write career class Rogue in here because it's the only one I qualify for.
Okay, I'm not surprised that you were going for Rogue. That's kind of where the stats sounded like they were
Well, what I
leaning.
was going to do is I was going to randomise again between the ones that I qualified for, but that was it. That's the only one.
Anywho,
I am neither good enough with a bow, good enough with a weapon, or smart enough for the other three classes.
so place of birth. Right, there's a few tables here. So we've got an elf and a human. Where's the elf table? Let's go with the human, since I can see where the human...
Yeah, the elves are on the next page. It's a much shorter table for elves.
I'm not surprised, yeah.
You've
So
got
humans.
sub-roles for the humans. You haven't for elves.
Yeah. So we'll start with Drut. Can you roll me a percentile, please? Let's have your...
Okay. Oh, 11.
11 puts you in Altdorf.
Urban Altdorf.
Urban Altdorf.
City girl.
Is that actually on the character sheet, or is it just in notes?
That is on the second page of the character sheet, yes. Right-hand side, place of birth.
Oh, there we go.
There's also a space for birth date, which I can't really fill in until I know what year we're starting in.
Okay. Altdorf.
So, Kiki, you have a much shorter list of options, but it's still a percentile roll. At a
Right.
point, I didn't give Drut the other option, did I?
That's
What's
true, you
other
didn't know.
option?
What was the number you rolled? Because I only gave you the first one. 11.
11.
Oh, 11 is
11.
11.
So
11 is 11.
instead of Altdorf, you could have had an Altdorf instead,
Yeah.
if you'd prefer to come from there. I found the other thing that you use a D4 for. It's only
What's that?
halflings. Halflings have 2D4 minus 2 siblings as well.
Ah, right. We haven't
Except
got
that the
to...
4s explode.
Halflings explode.
Exploding
sorry,
halflings. I can believe exploding halflings in Warhammer, actually. It's the kind of
Kiki,
thing... that this
percentile for
game
your
would have.
location, please.
And that will be a 76.
76. Okay, that could give you either the Mirror Moors or Laurelorn.
I shall take the 76, not the 67.
Okay, that's the Mirror Moors.
Here
Fantastic.
comes the mirror. Sorry.
Now that's a location I don't know, so I'm going to have to go and look that one up.
Location I also don't know, so that's going to be fantastic.
Right, siblings, humans, D6 minus 1.
You know, I
Here's
said
a roll.
that on halflings, 4s explode.
Yeah.
I've got 8 siblings.
Your parents got busy.
Good old-fashioned halfling family.
Yeah.
That's it, like rabbits.
Okay. So that's 2 siblings. Far more sensible.
And their reaction when one lost an arm was probably, well, got plenty more.
Kiki, you are D6 minus 1 for siblings.
Right. That is a... is there a minimum?
Well, the minimum would be 0.
Minimum would be none.
Oh,
yeah.
fantastic. It is a 0 then.
Okay, so you are an only child.
That's the thing with elves. They apparently don't bother.
They don't need to. They live forever. So Drut, age difference. We can determine how different from you your siblings are. I don't think we've actually determined your age yet, have we?
No, not yet.
Did I skip that part?
Believe so. Yes.
Where did I skip age?
Age is in the core rulebook, not the character pack, so you've got to jump
Yeah.
back to there. You have a
Yep,
choice.
I did. I scanned past age. Right, let's go back to age for a second.
You get a choice, basically. You can roll young or
Yeah.
old. It's still randomised, but you get different dice, so it biases it towards younger or older.
So Drut, would you like a youngster or a slightly more experienced?
Let's go with more experienced.
60-10. If this somehow miraculously comes to less than 16, roll again, adding the new score to the old.
Giving it a gold college try.
And Kiki, likewise for you. Do you want to be young or slightly older?
I shall go with the Let's not go super old. Let's go with the young version. Why not?
Okay, 10d12.
Brilliant.
Again, if you roll less than 16, roll again and add it on.
Less than 16 on 10d12. That's going to be unlikely.
Unlikely, but nevertheless possible. Especially if you've seen the way Fish or I roll.
Alas, Brunhilde's mother is no more. Probably died from fatigue.
Death by childbirth.
Nothing compares to what Tacklish ended up with. I rolled maximum number of possible siblings, most of whom were my twin.
Oof.
I think it worked out to octuplets
Ouch.
in a fantasy setting. Mother died in childbirth. No.
So mum for real.
Yeah.
My elf is apparently 74.
That's not bad for enough.
Fairly
Elf is
average.
only 5 years younger than my father. That's my character's father, not my father. He's dead,
okay.
so he's older than everybody.
He stopped aging now.
So, Drut,
Uh-huh.
your siblings, you can calculate the age difference. 3d4 minus 3 for each
Oh,
sibling.
now I need D4s. Great. Hang
See,
on.
there's another thing we need d4s for.
Yeah. I rolled 30, by the way.
30. Okay.
I have a 30-year-old character. Fun was when that would have seemed really old to me. Now I'm old, and that seems really young.
He is sneak up on you, Drut. They really do.
Oh, I saw somebody on Twitter, very, in my opinion, pompously saying, in response to something about somebody else tweeting something about average AD&D average D&D character at first level being like 15, 16. I've never played a character that young, blah 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 blah. And I thought, so you've never read the rule book then, because that's how old it says they are.
Yeah. 5th ed, I think, says that you're basically adult for your race. I think they bumped it
Fifth
up
ed
a
probably
bit.
doesn't. Fifth ed probably doesn't have a rule for it because it hasn't got a rule for anything else either.
Spot the man that doesn't like 5th ed.
Sorry, how do I determine older or younger? Is it just an odds and evens?
No. D3 minus 3d3 minus 3 is the age difference.
All right, okay.
You can decide as to which is older, which is younger.
Okay, fair enough.
So
Oh my god. Thank god it's D3s. Actually makes no odds. Smeg. 3d3 minus 3.
sorry, my apologies. 3d4 minus 3. My bad.
Oh, right, okay.
That's why you reach for the d4s.
Yeah, sorry.
Brain fart on my part. Too many threes in the sentence.
So 7 years. So
D4 caltrops. Absolutely, Jakar.
that's going to be 7 years older. Determining their gender ourselves.
Not specified.
Okay, I'll just go on to
Gender isn't randomised anywhere else in character creation anyway.
It
Oh,
is actually
it's fellas.
specified here. Each sibling has an equal chance of being male or female and an equal chance of being younger.
Oh, there
or
it is, yeah.
older.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'll just go on
Basically,
to
just
Odd
however
even.
you want to randomise that even chance.
Yep.
So that's a brother who's 7 years older.
Sorry, I missed that part.
And really hard to roll gloves on.
Twins, triplets, and other multiple births have a 10% chance of being identical.
Wacko. And then 6 years younger. And a brother.
Of course, looking at the randomisation there, there's no possibility for elves or dwarves to have a twin.
Indeed.
Obviously, multiple births simply don't happen with those races.
Mm.
It's entirely possible.
Fish, or either one of you, if you've still got the name tables available.
Yep. Do you want to roll the names for them?
Yeah.
Oh, hello. I've got some twins here in my family.
I'm not surprised.
Good lord, yeah, apparently
But efficiency.
elves live around 215 years, so
Yep.
if they had twins, it would be...
I take it back. I don't have twins in my family. I've got triplets.
So,
51 and 11.
If we follow the Witcher principle, I am sorted for new characters if this one dies.
Yes.
so you remember the names are on D1000,
Oh, of course they are.
and are we going male or female?
Both male.
Both male. Okay.
Oh, right then. So the 11 stays an 11.
Okay, so the 11 would be Adolf or Adolphus.
Adolphus. And 251.
251, let me scroll down far enough. 251 is Edgar.
Edgar. Okie dokie. Edgar and Adolphus. So there's a 13-year spread between those two. My parents really were in no rush.
Right.
Mackie, there are a few games that give you full character creation for your whole family. At least one of them, well, there's two of them are written by Fish.
Well, no, I've never written a game that gives you these full family character
Yeah.
creation. I have written a set of generic life path tables inspired by those used by Artelsorian Games, which can be applied to any game you want that will give you your entire family background.
Has it ever mentioned to you you can be overly pedantic on occasion?
Just
I'm pretty sure I've heard you mention it once or
it's
twice.
not
Yeah.
a part of the game system, so therefore...
So, parents, moving
Yes.
swiftly along. I think Fish has already done this, so could Drut and Kiki both roll a percentile and let me know what you get. Tell me about your parents.
It is modified by age.
Mine.
Oh my
Don't
word,
forget.
yes it is.
So for every full 10 years over 20, how old
You're adding
did you
10%.
come out?
Sorry, you were talking over
Drut was
each other.
30.
So yeah, add 10 to it then.
97.
You
Or
are an orphan.
79.
You are indeed, yes. Both parents are unfortunately deceased, Drut.
Or fortunately deceased, depending on whether you like them.
Also true.
I don't know, they're dead. How would I know?
So,
What
They
was your
presumably
age?
were alive at some point.
Kiki, you were 70 something, weren't you?
74 with a 14 on my roll.
Okay, no modifier for you, so 14 is both parents living.
Oh, huzzah.
So,
I'm going to make the most fun roll ever to be found in character creation in any game now. I'm rolling to see if I have a wife and or a husband rather, and kids.
whereas Drut and Kiki have that to come. So, Kiki, your parents,
Yes.
your age plus 60 plus D20.
Okay,
Oh, I'm too
that will be
young.
a 20. So that is 154.
Okay, that's one parent. Now do the same again for the other parent.
Oh wow, there's a 15-year age gap there.
They're elves, it doesn't matter to
Yeah,
them.
I guess not.
Yeah.
It's 139 for the other one.
Yeah, when you're talking about still being pretty active at 139, 15 years is nothing. Okay, spouses and children. Here we go. Do you have spouses? Do you have children?
I don't.
Drut.
You've got to be 41 as a halfling, and I'm only 39, so
Oh yeah.
Just
I'm
lads out
too
there.
young.
Right.
Okay, what am I rolling?
This one's a little weird. I'm just reading up on this bit. The table gives a percentage.
Okay.
Yeah, the first percentage.
Is for a surviving spouse. The second percentage is surviving children.
Yeah.
So, age is you were 30, weren't you, Drop?
I am.
So you have a 60% chance of a surviving spouse.
Okay.
Roll percentile.
Yes. Oh shit. 55.
You have a surviving spouse.
Yeah.
Now you have a 55% chance of having surviving children.
Uh-huh.
Things could get really complicated for Drut's
Yeah.
character at this point.
Yes.
Oh, don't. If you check the hint place chat, it has already been complicated for me in various.
As Becky says, let there be kids.
How much was it? A 60% chance? Did you say?
55.
55. Don't you bloody dare.
Kiki, you are 70 something.
Cool.
Okay, Kiki, you have a 40% chance of a spouse and 25% of surviving children.
Well, I have a 46
No spouse,
and a 73.
no children.
I really wanted to make sure I didn't have any kids. 99.
Okay, no complications for Druck there. No kids.
Ooh.
Just a partner that maybe doesn't like you staying out past curfew to
Or
beat
an
up
ex.
orcs with your
I'm-
friends.
I'm assuming that that your husband, does not approve of your going adventuring.
Yes.
Question is, does he have any idea where you are, and is he somebody interesting who might chase us down?
Well, he's a dangling plot thread.
Isn't he just?
Let's
That's
just...
an insult if ever I heard one. You
Yeah,
dangling
hang on a
plot
sec.
thread.
D1000. Let's find out who he is.
Back up to the name charts.
915.
915. Wilhelm.
Yeah, he's a scream.
Actually, I don't even need to do that.
Yeah.
Estranged husband.
I suddenly thought, wait a minute, I've got a Wilhelm on my board.
Yep. Definitely estranged.
Well,
So,
I'm rolling my initial skills, pre-career skills, which is
Yep.
something that these guys will be getting to in a little while. I've rolled scale sheer surface. I have one arm.
You have such
that
a
means
list.
nothing. There are people out there that do the same
Yeah.
today.
I know,
Yes.
I know, but they're not halflings for starters.
I have seen one-armed free climbers, and all I can say is Spider-Man exists.
Yeah, exactly.
For
Exactly.
some ungodly reason, they enjoy scaling things in like Arizona.
Family occupation. Create a career for each of the characters' parents.
Oh yes, I skipped that, didn't I? I should go back
Yes.
and find out what my father does.
Okay, what did they do for a living before they died horribly? Mother and father dies horribly. I'm having a goblins moment.
Doesn't seem to randomise that, so I'm guessing that's coming down to the
There are
randomisation
random
and character
NPC
creation.
charts in the back of the core rulebook, page
Ah,
338.
Wow, you've got this stuff memorised way better than I do.
No, I've got it in front of me.
That's cheating.
Page 300 and what?
338 in my edition, anyway. D4 for class, so I found another thing that isn't just for halflings that uses a D4, finally.
Yay.
So what we rolling? What we rolling? I don't know. I don't know.
Oh dear, Daddy's not going to be very approving of young Brunhilde.
Yeah,
He's a warrior.
the warrior.
Right. So, let's see. Randomisation. D4, yeah. To start with,
D4 plus. So Mummy was a 4,
which is a warrior.
and Daddy was a 1.
Academic.
Okay.
So,
It's a bit of a turnaround, isn't it?
Yes.
percentile for the warrior, please.
God, 92.
92.
Mm-hmm.
He was a squire.
Was she?
She was.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, it was Mum that was the warrior, wasn't
It was Mum that was a warrior.
it?
Yeah.
Mum was a squire.
Interestingly,
Okay.
so was Brunhilde's father, which might give us a possible connection between those two characters as to how they met.
Yeah. Interesting start.
Turned up at the same, their squire parents turned up at the same place alongside whichever knight, and the two of them met as a result.
Well, both of my parents are apparently rangers, so they're probably going to be very busy.
That works out nicely for elves. So, your father, the academic, let's have a percentile for him.
14.
14 would be an artisan's apprentice.
Mm-hmm.
If we flip it to 41, that would make him an initiate.
Oh, it's got to be initiate. She has to have got those eyes from somewhere.
That's what we did. We didn't flip the 92 around, did we? It was 20.
Yes.
So 28 would have been a mercenary.
To be honest, I'm happy with the squire because I
Cool.
do like the potential connection.
I do too. I just wanted to give you the option.
Yep.
Aha. These
Yeah.
random NPCs are actually from page 111, although in the back of the book it duplicates all the tables, which is rather useful. And there is a role here for whether or not they have advanced into a further career beyond squire, if we wish to make the role.
Ooh. Indeed, there is.
Basically, percentile. If you get 76 or above, then yes, they've moved on from being a squire to being something else.
Right, okay.
Let's do this.
93, Mummy did.
Moved on to another random class.
And 83, Daddy did too.
Career within the same class.
Okay, so random class for Mummy.
So that'd be D4 for, because it's
Sorry, yeah.
a career from another
Yeah,
random
sorry.
class.
4.
Warrior.
Yep. And then a 65.
Which is... God, I've lost the table now. Too many damn tables in this game.
Mm.
Bear in mind that freelance and mercenary captain are available options as career exits from squire, if that was the one that was moving on within the same class. I lost
Yeah,
track.
she
It
is.
was.
Yeah.
So you can either generate another basic career within warrior, or she could become a mercenary captain or a freelance. I mean, freelance is an obvious way to go from squire,
It
because
is.
Yeah.
a freelance would have a squire. So you just
Yeah.
moved up the pecking order.
Yeah, I'll go with freelance.
That works.
Maybe my father is the squire to your mother.
Yeah. Okay, and then it was academic.
He was an initiate, wasn't he?
Yeah. And that was within the same class. Because I rolled it for Mum. And Dad just got it.
Right. So the exits from initiate would be either to an agitator or to cleric level 1.
Cleric.
Nice. Now, both yours were rangers, weren't they, Kiki?
Yes.
Let me find the page again. Let's do the... So, did they progress from their starting career? Could you roll percentile for both, please?
Yeah, let's deal with this. Let's see. The first, the mother was a 12.
Nope.
Okay, and the father was a 24.
Nope. In either iteration of the numbers, they do not progress from ranger. But again, that kind of works for elves.
I don't think I could possibly have randomized something more generic.
So I think we're done with the family background.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Of course, this is where we randomise the siblings' occupations.
Well,
Oh,
that's
God.
optional. You can do that if you wish to. I would suggest only doing it for adult siblings, certainly.
Yeah.
Because, that 6-year-old, are they really going to be a road?
Actually, both of my siblings are adults. Do you mind if
So
I...
in that case,
Not at all.
is it percentile? No, it's
D4 then percentile.
Okay, so a 3.
I've got to find the chart again because I've moved away from it because I've forgotten about the siblings.
So I say. I'm just curious.
So a 3 would be a rogue.
Oh, God. Both rogues. My older and younger brothers,
Both rogues. Okay.
both rogues.
So percentile for both, individually of course.
72 and 42.
Right, 72 would either be a rustler
Mm-hmm.
or a entertainer.
Yep.
And what was the other one?
42.
42 would either be a footpad or a beggar?
Ooh. Oh no.
Right, Meki's got the plot for the next session sorted, so we're good there.
Yeah. Hang on a sec. Also,
How did I manage that? I'm sure I had triplets and they
4
vanished.
is warrior, isn't it?
4 is warrior.
Right. Hang on. What's a 21 on the career for warrior?
21 for a warrior would be a marine.
Oh boy.
Who's a marine?
Hubby.
Hubby is a marine.
Wilhelm is a marine. The estranged hubby.
The estranged hubby.
Makes sense, I
okay.
suppose.
Yeah. I think, to be fair, given the strength ratings and the whole made of muscle thing, she'd probably kill anybody who wasn't.
So is that made as in M-A-I-D or made as in M-A-D-E? Because they would both fit. Made of muscle.
Made in Britain. Okay. She's not a maid. Well, rephrase, she's not a maiden. Definitely not a maiden. She's 30 years old and married to a marine.
Does seem unlikely, doesn't it?
It does seem
That's rather,
deeply
yes.
unlikely. Neither's he.
I think Meki's trying to write this into the Warhammer Fantasy dating sim.
Yep. As he said, Warhammer Valentine Edition.
Well, I discovered that Cold Hearts was apparently done using a visual novel creation engine. I didn't realise that there was a game builder for visual novels.
There's
that I
a game
really should
builder
have
for
done.
everything.
Yeah, I think I just never particularly looked at it. So, if you want to do the visual novel for Warhammer, Meki, I don't doubt that you could find...
That would be the ultimate in fan art, wouldn't it?
That would,
It
rather,
would.
wouldn't it?
Yes. Yes, she proposes an arm wrestle every time he wants to get busy.
So I suppose I've got 6 siblings that are worthy of generating careers for.
Good Lord, Fish.
My word.
I'll be a little while.
You didn't get any siblings at all, did you, Kiki?
No, I got nothing.
I got nothing.
No siblings, no partner.
Again,
nothing.
fairly sort of generic adventurer.
Parents only really got time off from the whole rangering business to get together once, you know.
Yeah, they grew up different trees for the rest of it.
Right, Fish, are you happy for us to progress while you do your...
Yep, you carry on.
There's the sound of a man who's going to be there a while.
Well, he's got a rulebook in front of him.
I'm
sure
ahead
he'll
of you
catch-
anyway. I've just come back to this, so...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair play.
I've now got to find the skills part of the book because I skipped around for...
Okay, well,
Some of
I'm
the background
certainly
there.
fitting in with the family so far.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've rolled 3 rogues in a row there.
Wow. So, what I suppose we should actually don't. I've got there. We did fate. Career classes. Is there a skills pre? No, there isn't. Right. So, career classes. For you to want to be a warrior, you must have a weapon skill of at least 30. To be a ranger, you need a ballistic skill of at least 30. To be a rogue, you must have an eye of at least 30. Unless you're an elf, in which case 65.
Well, I'm glad I've got a 64 then.
So no rogue for you then. And academics must have an int of at least 30 and a willpower of at least 30.
You see, I'm awfully tempted to take an academic, despite the fact the whole built like a brick privy thing.
Well, I know that I cannot be a rogue, so I'm simply going to say warrior, ranger, academic and roll a d3. And apparently I'm an academic.
Okay.
I shall take warrior then. Annoyingly.
Like it makes a difference in this game.
It does.
Not a vast amount.
Academics are very rarely prone to rush into combat and gut people with a penknife.
It
I mean,
may
you don't
not
have to
come
take
as a great
warrior.
surprise to you, Drut, if I tell you now that elements of the character creation system in Obsession are inspired by Warhammer 1st Edition.
Not shocked.
Right, you don't
I
have
love
to
this
take
stuff.
a warrior if you don't want to.
No, it's okay.
It's like playing a Witcher game without a Witcher or combat.
No,
It
it's
happens.
cool. It's cool.
Okay.
especially with the family background and stuff.
Okie dokie. So skills. Let's see.
Somebody's
Skills
to hit things.
are specific abilities. Blah 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 blah. Determine how many skills a character has. Roll a d4 and modify the result by the character's age. I've got a chart here.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So P4, please, folks.
4.
Right, you are 30 spot on or 30?
I am bang on 30, yeah.
Right, +1, so that's 5 skills.
Yay.
Kiki,
That is a 1.
a 1.
Yes.
You are 70.
74.
Okay, you get a +1 to that one. You get 2 skills.
Huzzah. And I've been looking at elves. Apparently, due to the mandatory skills, I can only have excellent vision and musicianship.
Oh yes, mandatory skills.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. My first mandatory skill needed to be cook, and my second either herb lore, sling, or silent move roll.
No.
Humans.
Adjust that.
Okay, what do we get for mandatories?
Humans. The main
Humans have
advantage
no
humans
mandatory
have
skills.
is that they're versatile.
Mm-hmm.
Human characters dice for their initial skills randomly on one chart for their chosen career class.
Righty-ho.
So, you don't have mandatory skills.
I
You
get
roll
random
yours
shit.
randomly.
I get
You
random
get
shit.
random shit for a warrior.
Yep.
Poor
Random shit
Kiki's
for a
stuck with
warrior.
to be.
Going to roll a
You can't do anything.
d3 for which of my mandatory skills I'm going for. Is it going to be herb lore, specialist weapon, sling, or silent move roll? It's specialist weapon sling, naturally, because I've got a crappy
Crappy BS.
BS.
To
Yeah,
be fair,
I've got a BS
at least you can do that. At least you can do that one-handed.
Yep.
Fortunate that.
You
So,
might have
right.
to have your bullets
got-
in your mouth or something.
5 skills, did you say you've got?
I have.
Okay, let's go.
So, 76 or 67?
76 would be scale sheer surface.
Mm-hmm.
67 would be ride.
Right.
I see that Meki has been paying attention to what I've been doing here, because he's said
Yes.
that Brunhilde stems from a family of shady folks.
Yep.
This is not wrong.
So,
Very not wrong.
I appear to have rolled a bard.
Elven Bard?
I've got as my siblings, I've got 2 rat catchers, an agitator, a jailer, a grave robber, and a hunter.
None of these occupations happen in daylight.
Nope.
Again, shady family.
Yes.
Yep.
Go on, Dra, what's number 2?
32.
32 or 23 gives you
Gonna
either
have to find out.
excellent vision
Mm-hmm.
or dodge blow.
It's all about the eyes with her. Excellent vision.
Okay.
She's got the weird eyes.
The eyes
I
have
still
it.
maintain. Well, I want to know who Daddy was a cleric of, frankly, because I'm starting to get concerned. She's got purple eyes, not a standard.
Or possibly cinch.
Charismatic eyes, so they do the whole warmth thing.
Yeah, again,
And she's got
cinch.
excellent vision. Yes. Okay.
Number 3.
That's actually cocked. I'm actually cocked that in the dice tray.
I'm not so sure, Meki, because I rolled on my skills for it, and one of them was singing. It was dance, musicianship, or singing, and I got musicianship. I think I'm just going to have to get the violin out and play very badly.
40.
40. Fleet-footed or 04 would be acute hearing.
Ooh.
Do you want to run away or hear everything?
Does fleet-footed give you +1 to movement?
I'd have to
Or
look
is it
at
Let
just
me
a
look
skill?
it up for
I
you.
believe it's a skill, I believe.
Yeah. It is just a skill.
Yeah.
A lot of the skills do give you bonuses to your stats, which is why the character sheet that you're using, Drat, has a skill effects.
But it has
Cunning.
notes.
Something I never understood why they didn't put onto the main character.
Yeah.
Standard
Well, it has
character sheet.
notes rather than skill effects, but close enough.
Oh. How can yours have something different to mine? Because mine had... No, I mean, on the actual profile, the attribute profile, you have a row for skill effects.
You do, yes. Sorry,
Yes,
that's me
because
being
many
completely
skills will...
dipshitty.
Yep. Fleet-footed adds 1 to movement.
It's going to have to be...
Fleet-footed with a limp and short legs.
Yes. Well, that
The
ameliorates.
fleet-footed makes up for the limp.
It does. Does excellent vision do anything, Fish?
Almost certainly, yeah.
Not so sure, Meki. I think with both my parents being rangers, I'm going to have to wield a bow of some sort. All I need to do is get the violin and learn a few basic things again, like, for example, some standard sound effects.
Well, he could be drumming on the helmets of his enemies. And
Excellent
Sneaky
vision
walk.
lets you see things at 50% beyond the normal spotting distances. It doesn't affect night vision. So if you have any night vision from anywhere, because it is possible to pick that up as a human, then that's not affected. But yeah, you can see things 50% further away than you would normally spot them.
Okie day, that's done. Okay, skill 3.
And
Skill 4, sorry.
that does affect the distance.
Thank you for the follow.
That does affect the
you.
distance that can be applied for things like torches and lanterns. So you'll see half as far again by torchlight as the rest of the party, except that we've got night vision, so we can't.
She's got
see further than
freaky
you do.
eyes.
She's got freaky eyes indeed. Right, this is number 4.
4. 43 or 34.
43 would be lightning reflexes. 34 would be excellent vision. So lightning reflexes then.
Lightning reflexes. Any effect on that?
I suspect that gives a +2 eye. There you go, Grogovision. Thank you very much for the follow. Thank you. Welcome aboard.
Hey, hello, Grogovision.
And
Very Blood Bowl name.
it is rather. So 5th skill.
Fifth
Fifth and
skill.
final.
Yes, Fishy. If
Yeah.
you still have that table up, does lightning reflexes give an initiative bonus?
It's not a table, but I've got a lightning
Oh, okay,
reflexes.
list. Person who has the rule book, who isn't the GM. Jeez.
I'm flicking between pages like crazy.
Yeah,
now.
you're the one who's been rushing ahead, so you get to.
Yep,
use-
lightning reflexes is a +10 to initiative.
Yes.
Excellent.
Bloody hell. That's a bit on the scary side. We like that. Not a lot. And the final skill.
Now roll the 55. Go on.
I keep running doubles anyway. 11, 55, 99.
55 would be good for you, I suspect.
Yeah? Go on. Shit the bed.
You didn't
So
do it, did you?
55 then.
You're kidding me.
I'm not. I'm pretty sure it was. Sorry about that. I apologise for.
So 55. Fishy indicated that humans can get night vision. That's 55.
No.
I'll look it up, but I believe you get a 2d6 yard night vision range.
That's what I was saying. 55 would probably be good for you.
It's going to be a 2-yard night vision range, isn't it?
Holy hell.
It's all about the eyes.
What the? Look, I'm just
Yep,
scared
it is
about the 55.
2d6. For characters who already
2d6.
have night vision, which you don't, it adds 2d6 to the result, to the value that their race normally gives them.
And it's done in yards, yeah?
And that is done in yards.
Okay.
Yeah,
Place your
as
bets.
Kiki said, it'll probably be a 2-yard range, but.
Yeah, alternatively 12.
Oh,
So, 12-yard
36
night vision. That's not
Yeah.
affected by your excellent vision. However,
Okay.
that would add to the distances that you can see by, say, torchlight, which are already 50% greater than they should
That's
be.
it, yeah.
So you can probably see every bit as far as the characters around you can, provided there's at least a torch handy.
There is something funky going on in her DNA. I'm sorry, I'm still scared at rolling what
Knight,
you were
do
saying.
you have the Realms of Chaos sourcebook, or would you like me to lend you mine?
Yes, can we establish who Dad worships? Is there a random chart for that?
We'll perhaps do that one offline so that
Yeah.
it's not completely flagged to the other characters or
Yeah.
players.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Excellent vision.
More to the point, how the hell did you roll 55 when I said that would be a good number?
She's drunk.
I,
These things happen
I believe-
around her.
I'm sorry.
I believe at
just
the
rolled
start of the stream, someone mentioned Nurgle, didn't they?
Yes, Nurgle has been mentioned.
Yep.
Zinch has been mentioned as well.
Yeah,
With the
Nurgle-
purple eyes
Well,
and the...
Tzeentch,
Yeah.
although you can get mutants from any of the Chaos Gods, Tzeentch is the Lord of Change, and therefore really the master of mutation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be a fun campaign.
This is indeed.
Oh, right, okay, so that
I'm,
needs to be 2 minutes.
you're either going to love or hate my character, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm going to love it.
She's following in family footsteps, not her father's footsteps, unfortunately, but one of her elder brothers. She's an agitator. For those who do not know, agitators are active supporters of causes. Almost any cause will do, from the rights of common humans, or elves, dwarves, or halflings, to the state of the drains. They campaign tirelessly to enlist support, addressing meetings, distributing leaflets, and bending the ear of anyone who will listen. To an agitator, the greatest satisfaction is to see the establishment forced to act by the weight of public opinion.
So to translate that into modern parlance, SJW.
Not necessarily. I mean, MRAs as well would count as agitators.
Also,
Yeah,
to
both
be
sides-
fair here,
All sides of the fence.
Yeah, that's very
student
true.
union activist.
Yeah.
Okay, so trappings, equipment, and stuff.
Well, have we not got to careers now?
Not yet.
Yeah.
According to
Oh, you get your
go-
basic equipment before your career, do you?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I should have probably read the rules then. I missed that.
So you mean you're not perfect?
There is an advantage to me being an agitator. I can actually read and write. We've got someone who can read, guys.
Yay!
yeah,
It's
it goes
not a
by
given
class,
in this
not career.
game.
I can also read.
You
It
just
goes
have to
by
show
class,
off, don't
not
you?
career. So, so for warriors, Drut,
Yeah.
you have a suit of sturdy and practical clothing, includes a hooded cloak and boots. You have a sling bag, backpack, or a sack, whichever you prefer, with pewter tankard and cutlery, tinderbox, and blanket. You have a hand weapon of your choice, usually a sword, but axe, mace, whatever.
Mhm.
A knife, normally tucked in your belt, and a helmet.
Okay. Never underestimate.
And you
the
have
helmet.
3d6 gold crowns.
Right.
God, no.
Okay.
Having been doing Shilhau last Tuesday, never underestimate. No, not Shilhau, Shittlehau.
Shittlehau.
Never underestimate
God.
the use of the helmet.
I'm gonna have to get myself an overlay. I really am.
How much can we sell each of these golden crowns for? I'm joking.
So, as an
Generally,
academic,
you should be able to get about 19 shillings for them if you sell them. That's,
Fisher,
I'll
you
give
were
you
a
19
rogue, were
shillings
you
for
not?
them if you want. Anyway, that's it's a fair rate.
you're a rogue, are you not, Fish?
I am a rogue.
I thought so. So you have a suit of sturdy, if rather worn clothing, including boots and shoes, or shoes. You have a knife, probably tucked into your belt, and a purse containing 3d6 gold crowns.
12.
I got 3d6 as well, didn't I?
You did. And finally, Kiki, you're an academic, are you not?
Apparently so.
So you have a suit of decent, lightweight clothes, including sandals or soft shoes. And, as with everyone else, a knife tucked into the belt, and a purse of 3d6 gold crowns. So it seems like the warrior gets the better end of the deal here, because they get weapons and armour as well.
Yeah.
And a kit bag of
Yeah,
stuff.
they do.
What armor did I get?
Oh, you got a helm.
No, just the helmet. Okay. So helmet, hooded cloak, sling bag, and gear. I've listed its gear because you sort your life out on that.
Yeah.
You did rattle through it. A knife and a sword. I've got.
That's correct.
Okay. Given that messes count as knives.
No, they don't. Well, actually, I suppose they probably do because this
They
game
do.
doesn't have specific rules for them, so it would just be knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
13 crowns. Apparently I did quite well for myself.
Not bad at all, not bad at all. Grandpa wants to give you gifts. Nice try, Zornok. Drud, when you were listing this stuff, did you get the pewter tankard, cutlery, tinderbox, and blanket as well?
I just listed those as gear on the ground so I could grab those later.
You do have those.
Yeah.
So, career. Again, this is all randomised. Or can be. I like the idea of randomising it. We've done everything random
Yeah,
so
gives you
far.
Yeah.
the choice.
So, for the warrior, it's basically the same chart we were rolling for your siblings and family. Would you care to roll a percentile, please? And we'll flip it around so you get both options.
Okay, so career class warrior, starting career. God help us. Okay, 85 or 58?
85 would make you a soldier. 58 would make you a pit fighter.
If you want to power game this, take the Pit Fighter every time. It is the most awesome starting class in the entire game. There is literally no better starting class than Pit Fighter.
I wasn't thinking in terms of power gaming. I was thinking in terms of bald, freaky looking, something deeply wrong with her musculature.
Oh, yeah.
It fits.
I'm not saying only take Pit Fighter if you are power gaming. I'm saying if you have an interest in power gaming, take the Pit Fighter. They're awesome.
Wait, what, you reckon my husband was attending the fights? You know, they met across a severed leg.
It's entirely possible.
Yeah.
Your husband is a Marine. It's entirely possible he was there on his day off.
So he was there on a date. A sudden
Also
image.
possible. So we have a... Is that what you're going to go with?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have a pit fighter.
Yeah, you have between 9 and 11 skills for being a Pit Fighter.
Yeah.
2 of them have a 50-50 chance of getting the last 2, but the other 9 you just get them.
Okay,
I
did
got
not
2.
know this.
Pit fighters are pretty violent.
Basically, you get almost all the specialist weapon skills.
Kiki, as an academic, would you care to
Yes.
roll a percentile, please?
Let's see what kind of academic I am. I am a 75 academic.
75 would make you a seer, or 57 would make you a physician's student.
Well, I'm just sticking with my roles here, so let's go
Okay.
with the seer.
So we have a seer. Excellent.
Cool. A seer who can sing. He has to do music in order to trigger visions.
That's potentially quite useful, actually, because that gives him the arcane language magic, which, although none of us have any spells, might be useful to have someone who can actually read magic in case we come across it somewhere.
That's entirely
This
probable,
is
yeah.
true. This is very true.
So, let's go through and find the bits that these give you. Fishy, how far have you gotten with this, or have you done all this now?
Yep, I've got to decide on my free advance, but otherwise I'm pretty much done.
Okay.
So tempted to take my free advance in initiative, just so that I can have a 72 initiative at the start of the game.
72?
It's 62
Wow.
now, including the effects of lightning reflexes.
I thought 45 was good.
Right, Strut,
Yo.
as a pit fighter, here is your advanced scheme. So these are what you will work towards boosting to progress to the next career.
Yep.
There is a weapon skill of plus 20, a toughness of plus 1,
God, really?
a wounds of plus 2,
Yes.
an initiative of plus 10,
I like that game.
a dex of plus 10, and a cool of plus 10. Now, see if I can read through as much of this as I can. In many parts of the old world, combat to the death is still a popular form of entertainment. The cheapest form this takes is one-on-one brawl in an enclosed ring or pit between 2 condemned criminals or prisoners of war. The fights can be hard and vicious because pit fighters who manage to survive for any length of time pick up a lot of weapon training, and in some cases enough money to buy their freedom. In previous decades it was fashionable to use half-orcs as pit fighters, but they were too dangerous to keep in or near large human populations, and human pit fighters are the norm. Also, there is a growing breed of professional pit fighters, men who do the job for money and the sport, who are not just convicts. The sport attracts large audiences, and much money changes hands through betting. Those few hardy souls who survive long enough to buy their way out nearly always end up as outlaws, bounty hunters, or adventurers, where their formidable fighting skills and fearlessness makes them indispensable.
Definitely former professional. She's not a convict. She was doing this because she likes fighting.
So there is, as Fishy says, a rather large list of skills you acquire through this.
Okay, bring it.
Disarm.
Oops, sorry, Fish.
Oh dear.
Dodge blow.
Mm-hmm.
Specialist weapon, fist weapons. Specialist weapon, flail weapons.
Which is both a specialist weapon and also how Brunhilde fights.
Okay.
Specialist weapon, parrying weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Specialist weapon, two-handed.
Quick
Yay.
explanation for mostly Meki's sake.
Mm-hmm.
It's not +10 +10. The advanced scheme is what's available to me to take. So
yes.
that row there are not actually factored into my stats. I've taken the leadership +10 from the advanced scheme, so that's noted down on the one below that I've taken that advance. Because if I change to another career, it's got to give me +20 in leadership if I want to take another advance. I can't take another +10 because I've already got one. You can only take it once.
Mm-hmm.
So in the case of Drut, for example, she can increase her weapon skill twice because she has +20 in weapon skill. But that would be two separate picks. So she'd spend the XPs once to get +10, then spend it again to get +2. And if she wants to get the +20 even, and if she wants to get any better, she's got to find a career that provides +30 in weapon skill.
Yeah, there's not many of them to the pound.
No. So you now have weapons as a skill.
Uh-huh.
Strike mighty blow.
For freedom.
And strike to injure.
Yes.
Now the next two you have a 50% chance of getting.
Okay.
So you have a 50% chance of very resilient.
Okay, aiming for 50% or under. 33. Okay, that's fairly determined.
So you have very resilient.
Gives you a +1 toughness.
Hang on a sec. That's not how you spell resilient. +1 toughness, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
See,
And
this
you have
is,
a plus-
this is why I've got the skill effects column in on this character on
Yeah.
this character sheet. Loads of skills give you that bonus, and you don't want to get it mixed up with what you've taken from the advances.
No.
So
Yeah.
I
And
put
you
the
have a
extra row in.
50% chance of very strong.
That would just be silly.
Bet you can't guess what that does to your stats.
4.
+1
So
strength.
+1 strength.
Oh my god.
Your character is pretty flipping awesome.
Yes.
So she's currently packing 5 strength, 5 toughness.
Yeah, you're the tank, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's before we give you your trappings that include some armor.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be. She's a two-handed longsword wielder. This one.
Dave
Okay, so
had
you
a
have-
pit fighter in my first Warhammer campaign. Slayham Gorley ended up as the champion of Middenheim. That was the character who decked a Minotaur in one punch.
Oh my god!
David's character was fighting a Minotaur in the arena in Middenheim, losing badly, and was about to get killed. So Slayham hurtled from the audience into the arena, ran across, and just flattened it with one punch. He was a very popular champion.
So,
Fortunately
Drut,
for me, he was forced to retire the character at that point because he had to stay and be champion.
Excellent.
you have the following trappings. You have a shield.
Hang on a sec. I hadn't put very strong in. I put the effect in. Didn't actually put the skill in. Okay. I have a shield. Haven't figured out how to fight with a shield.
You have a
yet.
mail shirt.
Yay!
You have a pair of knuckle dusters.
Of course I do.
You have a flail. And you have a 20% chance of having a two-handed weapon.
Right. Don't let me down, dude. 18.
Bloody hell. You have a two-handed weapon.
Yay! Any particular two-handed weapon, or do I get to pick?
It says just two-handed weapon, so you get to pick. I'm guessing you're going to go with two-handed sword.
Yes.
Thought you might. So you can battle me with proper terminology for what you're doing when you're describing your fights. That's all we have to say. So in English, that means what?
Yeah, so, yeah, literally. So just out of curiosity, are people who have access to the equipment list? Are there two-handed swords? Longsword, or are we talking Zweihander?
I would guess they're talking Zweihander.
Oh, usable in many-on-one fights, so that you can just keep everybody away from you.
But generally, whenever I've been in a fantasy game, by two-handed sword they mean Zweihander. They don't mean longsword.
Yeah, because people don't twig that longswords are two-handed.
More likely, the closest you'll get to a longsword in most games would be a bastard sword. It's got the wrong hilt because longsword has a full two-handed hilt.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know the difference, out there who might be interested, a longsword is basically a bastard sword with a full two-handed hilt, rather than the hand and a half from which bastard swords take their name. Lengthwise, though, that's pretty much what it is.
Right.
That is the hilt that we are talking about.
That's a
Fishy's
longsword.
longsword. A bastard sword hilt would stop about there.
Yeah.
Roughly about there.
Yes, the bastard or hand and a half sword has a hilt in which you can literally get, it takes its name from the fact that you can get 1.5 hands onto the hilt comfortably. A long sword is a full two-handed hilt but has a blade the same length as the traditional bastard sword. It's a weapon that is entirely missing from pretty much every role-playing game ever. Instead being replaced with an arming sword, which they call a longsword.
Yeah. But they're very different beasties. Arming swords are
Arming sword or
one-handed.
Viking sword, the longsword as described in most role-playing games would be.
Of course, for a halfling, an arming sword would be a two-handed weapon.
Yes, you see, I've just got a knife. I've got an ordinary knife, but to Brunhilde, it's a messer.
I've just realised I'm sat here. When I'm sitting down, this sword is actually my height.
Yeah.
This is a 4-foot thing.
That is the height of my character.
Yeah. It's like I've used a Montante, and they are my height. So
Just for your cognizance, the exits from the pit fighter career are quite interesting.
Okay.
Bounty hunter.
Hang on.
I'm not sure if you need to write this down anywhere. I was just.
There is a space on the
as well,
character
because it
sheet,
gives
but
me
you can always
something
fill
to
it
aim
in
at.
later if you're not first.
Yeah. Footpad.
That really seems like a come down.
It does, doesn't it? Judicial champion. Outlaw chief. Not quite sure where your band of mercenaries is going. If they end up with you as an outlaw chief.
Yup.
Or tunnel fighter.
Okay.
I have skipped one because you don't qualify on grounds of race. You're not a dwarf, therefore
No.
cannot be a giant slayer.
And there's one that, every edition of this, they never actually correct it and put it in. There is one missing career entry from the pit fighter that they never fixed and put in. Graveyard. That's the other career exit.
Right, Fish, you've done your skills and such, haven't you?
I have indeed. I am an agitator, so I gained public speaking and read and write. My career exits oops, I put them in the wrong place. They're in the career path box instead. But I can become a charlatan, a demagogue, or an outlaw. Just out of interest, you can always take, as a career exit in this game, you can always take a basic career from your existing class. So although those are the three which my current career point me towards, I can become any first level basic starting rogue if I wish to.
Back in set, guys. Someone at the door.
Okay. So, Kikiki, the seer.
Yes.
Let's start with your advanced scheme. You get, as an advancement options, you get a +1 to wounds.
Righto, that's helpful.
You get a +10 to leadership.
Okay.
You get a +10 to cool.
Okay.
You get a +10 to willpower.
Righto.
And a +10 to fellowship.
Ah, if you're a good seer.
Seers are self-appointed religious authorities operating outside normal churches. They can be found in marketplaces of any town proclaiming their latest revelations to anyone that will listen. In an age of religious intolerance and competition, Seers may appear to be opportunists poaching from genuine beliefs. In an age where mental illness is not fully understood, the seer may more realistically be seen as an eccentric. Some of them may actually be divinely inspired. More often than not, though, they are either charlatans, on the make, or completely unhinged.
Ah, yes. The gods, they speak to me.
Yeah, but
Pretty
which
much.
gods? We've been worried about this already.
This could turn out to be a chaos-driven party,
Yeah,
right?
I don't generally play evil games, but this may well end up as a chaos one.
It's looking that way. So,
What I miss?
we're just talking about the seer character class.
Yes,
Yeah.
the possibility
And how they
that the gods
may
which
be
speak to
divinely
Kikiki might be the same
inspired
ones
or
that your
charlatans.
father worships.
Or completely unhinged.
By the way, when I was jokingly asking if a messer would come under knife, that's a messer. That actually is classed as a knife, not as a sword.
No, it isn't. It's classed as a sword. Just because the name kind of means knife doesn't mean that is a knife.
That is very much a sword. I'm sorry, Dret. So,
I mean, it is quite close to a machete, which is classed as a knife, despite
It
the fact
is, yeah.
that really a machete is a short sword. It should
It
be a
is,
sword,
yeah.
not a knife.
Machete's
It's
about
a
the
short
same
sword.
size as a gladius.
Short
Yeah.
sword or long knife?
It's a long knife. It's a Bowie knife. A real one.
Hmm.
They're kind of Bowie knives on steroids.
Bowie knives are smaller than that, though, yeah.
And I didn't just answer the door holding that, although it was tempting.
So, you have skills, Kikiki.
Aha.
You have arcane language, magic.
Right.
You have divination.
Divination.
You have magical sense.
Fantastic.
The next three skills you have a 50% chance of picking up. So you have
Okay,
a 50% chance
Hang on, I'll roll them,
as we
and then
go.
then tell me whether or not tell me what I have or haven't got.
Okay, let's take your first roll.
Okay, so that is a 85.
You did not get blather. Next roll.
Okay, that is a 92.
You did not get charm animal. Next roll.
Okay, that is a 83.
You did not get public speaking.
Fantastic.
So your trappings
Yes.
consist of divination equipment, be it bones, be it marked stones, a sand trade dice, whatever your method of divination is. That is the extent of your trappings beyond what being an academic gave you.
I've just got an image of a cage about yay big with like 3 chickens in and a special knife.
No, it's not gonna. I mean, I do already have a knife. It's gonna be ferrets, though.
You sure you don't want to make it
Ew.
dogs? You could eviscerate some dogs, and it's not.
That's-
We've not done that. We've not done dogs in games before. Oh yes, we have.
I shall.
Obviously, that's for raising ghosts. That's not for divination.
I shall add to
It didn't
my
work for raising
trappings
ghosts, it must be
a
divination.
cage of ferrets.
He's going to sacrifice ferrets.
Best thing for them.
This is kind of the anti-Beastmaster.
I didn't get charm animal.
I can see why. So, we've got your basic careers down. You do now get, excuse me, you do now get a bonus advancement or a free advancement, which means that you get one towards one of your advancements. So if you've got maybe plus 10 weapon skill or ballistic skill or plus 2 wounds, you can have one of those 2 wounds, or you can have your plus 10 to the ballistic skill, or
So
you've got
basically,
one
you
of the
can
advancements.
Pick one of the advancements made available by your current career.
This is not as obvious to me as it initially was, because while I was thinking, yes, plus 10 to my weapon skill, that's the obvious progression, I like the plus 10 to call. It takes a lot to phase her. Oh, now I'm torn. Do I go with someone who's basically got look good at all times?
That's something only you can answer.
Or do I go with I am capable of turning most people into sushi?
You have rice?
That's what the elf's for.
I might take the +10 to cool, since I can see it coming.
Okay, I'm going for first advancement. I'm going to improve her survivability and give her the +10 to her weapon score.
Okay, one thing I forgot to do with Kiki's character was tell him his career exits. So, Kiki, career exits from a seer would be agitator
Okay.
or charlatan.
Fantastic.
Great, you can be a table tapper. Host psychic nights down the local inn.
You know, I do that for a living.
Right, that is, unless I've missed something, the extent of character creation. So the next steps are going to be, how did you guys get together? And
I actually really like the idea that Brunhilde's father is the squire to
my mum.
Lenore's mum.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I will go with that quite cheerfully.
cool. So where does...
How did we get the elf?
Where did we find the
this-
seer?
So, clearly, I wasn't following the path my parents wanted me to go down.
You're a rebel. What were your parents' occupations? Ranger and ranger.
Yes.
Maybe you were being persecuted somewhere and I agitated against it. Equal rights for seers!
I just
Or
have an
equal
image.
rights for ferrets, and then you wouldn't leave me alone.
I just have an image of us finding him somewhere in a bog up to his waist and sinking, having completely failed to notice quicksand.
A bog of eternal
I mean-
stench?
They are not the most intelligent of people.
I'm going to leave this entirely up to you how you did come into contact with them. And then I guess it's down to you guys, between the three of you, how you came to the conclusion that staying together as a band and moving forwards as a mercenary unit, or at least jobs for hire, was the best thing.
So, Grunhilde is Grunhilde's fishy, isn't it?
Yes, Brunhilde is
Brunhilde.
me.
And Drat was who?
Lenore.
Lenore, that's the one.
Yep.
So, I like the idea that I have made the more than reasonable starting money that I have by
Fleecing people?
stalking Grunhilde's arena activity and
that's Lenore's
placing
arena
bets
activity.
based on... That's the one, Lenore's arena activity, and sacrificing ferrets in order to work out the outcomes.
So hang on, you've been running an illicit betting ring of my fights.
Of course.
You're a bookie. Perfect. This
Well,
party
no.
is dodgy as shit.
He's not the bookie. The bookies hate him because he's been getting it right every time.
Yes, he's a professional
According
gambler.
to the ferret intestines, I should bet on her. It's entirely down to the ferret intestines and not that he's seen you fight.
Oh my god, can you imagine the local bookies putting out bans on the local stores, no selling ferrets to this elf.
Have you
Before
seen
a
this
fight.
elf?
Have you seen this elf? He does, no, local
If
pet
found,
shops
please give him a good
do not
kicking.
sell. Yes.
Oh, my word.
Oh, fantastic. Which is fine, because I made absolutely arse all money, so frankly I'll spend yours.
Oh, dear.
Starting with 10 crowns. I'm quite glad I'm starting with all the skills in the world.
So if that's the case, if that's what you've been doing, Erdi, then I suspect you would have encountered Lenore at one of her fights, where possibly she uncovered your actions.
I mean, I probably wasn't the most lacking. What's the word? Good lord, I'm struggling with vocabulary now. I probably wasn't the most discreet with my divination.
There's a limit to how discreet you can be when you're looking at weasel intestines. Or ferret intestines.
Sneaks off behind the loos. Slick.
Difficult to discreetly slaughter a small mammal, yeah. Especially one that noisy.
He actually carries his ferrets down his trousers. He says, divination.
That is the traditional home for them, is it not?
Yes.
Oh my word.
See, at this point, I think I'm expecting poor Erdy to have a Yorkshire accent.
Oh God.
Yorkshire elf. That'd be different. I like that.
I like the idea actually that yes, your activities on the illicit help for picking the correct fighter being discovered and somebody attempting to take you out behind the bike shed for a kicking, leading to Lenore wandering past and finding them and deciding that this was not on.
The alternative is maybe he was basically being sued or charged in some way by a noble who lost money on his advice. And he demanded trial by combat, and as a charity gig, you defended him.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, if I want to head towards judicial champion, that's the way to go.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Yep,
That's the one, is it?
yep, absolutely. Yes, it came down, you nominated your right to trial by combat, at which point the noble wished to read the small print.
Oh dear. Unfortunately, the noble wasn't an academic and could not read.
As this person who's built like a battleship hosed into view. Oh, I like Lenore. This is not a goody two-shoes party.
It's coming out very much like the Witcher game. You know, it's dark. It's a grim, dark game. Where the heck is this going? It's going darker. So now we've got the three of you together.
Mm-hmm.
What's the glue to keep you together?
Money.
We're going to stick together as a group and try and do something to better ourselves, whatever that better may be for each of you.
Well, clearly Brunhilde is still following Lenore around, preaching about various causes and trying to get her to act in favour of all of them, and will not leave her alone until she's gone behind one of these causes.
So let me get this straight. We are going to be getting me to do charity gigs.
Look, no, absolutely not. Trial by combat, right? Trial by combat is a barbaric and outdated principle. We need to put an end to it now. If I could get the help of people like you behind me to back an end to trial by combat, I'd have a much better time than just getting, academics and clerics and all those other people who talk a lot of fancy words about it, but they've never been in a fight. They don't know. You know. You're the people we need.
People taking bets. Lenore fighting against the noble over here, taking bets.
Brunhilde's nickname, it's not Bubble, is it? Because that was pure Jane Horrocks.
It was a bit, wasn't it, actually?
It was a bit, yes.
It really was. It was either Jane Horrocks or Jodie Whittaker. It's kind of that halfway mark between Bubble and the Doctor.
That could have been the new Doctor, actually.
Yes.
Interesting.
Of course, you're playing a halfling. Oh, that's it, Fish. I will be putting on displays of martial prowess to draw crowds, which you can then preach to.
There's an interesting idea, yes.
And I shall run not so discreet betting rings around them.
I've got to make Eva proud of me, see, because only reason I'm doing this is I take after my sister, right, Eva, and I've got to make her proud. She's changed things, Eva. She's actually done stuff.
So Eva was a successful agitator.
Well, she's 6 years older than me, so she's had more time practicing.
Yeah, my brothers are both criminals. I don't know what that says about me. I'm the one who took an honourable path.
If you want to talk about criminals, I can talk about criminals all day long. I mean, my sister Kirsten, took us months to find out where she was getting her money from. I mean, my father was absolutely livid. He was convinced she was on the game. But no, it turned out she was digging people up.
You should have realised when she invested in those shorts and a blue crop top.
That was it, yeah. Hand crossbows, pair of them.
Yes. Yeah, a pair of hand crossbows on the thigh holsters and the brown backpack. Oh, you are never going to be able to keep that accent up.
I was about to say I'm not 100% certain that I can actually keep that up, but I'll try.
It'll be fun to watch you try.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I'm actually just going to go with more my own accent for once, because I just see her being more RP. I like the idea of her because she's not stupid in any way, shape, or form. I just love the idea of this whacking great bull of a woman who sounds like this.
So Dick Corral wanders into a town, proclaims that there are to be matches on and under the charity events from Lenore, the great warrior of wherever you happen to come from.
Of wherever we were
Altdorf.
last at, I think.
Yes.
Yes, Altdorf,
Yeah.
yes.
Altdorf.
Yeah.
And amidst the combat, I take the bets as Grunhilde tries to use the crowds to spread their noble message.
I think this is it. I come in, I offer to, in the spirit of competition and a little like betting, fight their strongest fellas, because they want to look good in front of their friends and family. We can only visit each town once. And that draws the crowd. I beat the living tar out of them. You collect the cash, because obviously they're going to bet on their home crowd rather than this strange woman who's pitched up. And when we've got the crowd, you then agitate at them.
And I also
We
collect the
start
cash
revolution.
because obviously all of these various causes, you can't get anything done for free. So
Exactly,
we go around with a
yeah.
hat.
Yep. You then agitate at it. We stir up the crowd who are all blood crazed and adrenaline filled, and then we take down the local nobles, raid their houses, and bugger off.
And the ferrets will, of course, give us good direction as to where to head next.
Exactly. Yes, we go with the ferret compass.
Ferret compass.
Yes, which is that's not actually the evisceration option. That's actually just he sticks a stick in the path in the earth and ties a ferret to it on a bit of string, and where the ferret stops as it's trying to run away after running in circles, that's where we go next. Multifunctional ferrets.
Oh, my word.
I think Multifunction Ferrets is now going to be... that's my band name.
So, Jakar, in response to your comment made quite some time ago now, we don't get a small but vicious dog, but Erdi does have a small number of small ferrets, which probably are quite vicious, until such time as he's used them for divination purposes, at which point they cease to be vicious at all, or indeed anything.
Yep.
But a mess.
But smelly.
Yes,
Ferrets are smelly.
they're named after how they act. One of them is, of course, called Mr. Bitey.
At any given time, there will be a Mr. Bitey, there will be a Sniffles,
And a Claus McGee.
Claus McGee, and a Smelly Ass. And those names will be cycled through as you leave ferret corpses in a trail from town to town, except for the one who became the compass and is damn well making sure that he's not losing that position. There's an incentive to get it right.
So, having travelled from Altdorf, you have arrived very recently in Middenheim, which, on your journey in, you could see the giant rock that Middenheim is built on. So, well, how the bloody hell do we get up there?
So-
there are a number of passages.
I'm reasonably certain you're taking the piss now, right? Both of you. Where should we take Brunhilde? You thought, let's find the tallest bloody place we can find.
Oh, alignment, guys.
Alignments, yes.
Having alignments.
So, the rules recommend that everyone take their race's natural alignment, but that I think is assuming less than experienced players.
Yeah.
I am willing to assume that we have fairly experienced players here.
Yeah, and gods, according to Meki.
Where's Meki? And gods. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong chat. Yes. So, alignments run through chaos, evil, neutral, good, law.
Mm-hmm.
With evil, neutral, and good being fairly self-explanatory. Chaos being about wrecking everything down. Law being about keeping everything absolutely 100% as it is and stagnant.
The law and chaos elements in this game are very much of the Moorcock standard. They are beyond good and evil.
Yeah.
Chaos is
neutral.
Chaos, and law, to
Yeah.
be honest, is not actually much better. It just happens to be in the other direction. It's not goody-goody. Law is equally bad for people because people are not lawful inherently.
Precisely.
So neutral alignments.
I
I've gone
suspect.
with neutral.
Yeah, I mean, for everyone but the elf, neutral is the standard anyway.
Okay.
I mean,
And I don't
considering
think this
what
is a
we've-
good elf.
No,
Yeah,
I do
don't
not think this is a good.
I think neutral works since the driving force behind this elf seems to be money
Slaughtering
and ale.
small furry animals.
They're certainly not a druid.
Maybe he could expand his remit to rats. You know, so, they're going to be cheaper than ferrets.
That takes a career advancement, I think, to do that.
If we make some real money, I may even go so far as to get us a pig.
There is.
You need
I'm sure there is a career rat catcher.
There is two of my siblings are rat catchers.
There
Just
we
a
go.
vision, he's got a basket on his back, a couple of dozen rats. Occasionally throws in the remains of the last ferret.
Yeah, I mean, if you want rats, that's fine because Katrina and Martin, they can get you all the rats you want.
How good are rats compared to ferrets?
I don't know. How good are ferrets?
I've never tried a rat.
I think you'd want to keep ferrets for
Well,
special
if you're going to
occasions.
try a rat, I would recommend that you slow cook it. They're a bit stringy, but they're okay in a stew.
Oh God!
Guinea's get a feel for this character.
I'm liking where this is going to go.
Okay. So
There isn't a massive amount in the core book on religions that isn't.
chaos.
Yeah.
Well, no, you've got your core
You've got-
religions. What isn't in the core book, which any modern Warhammer players and fans will be appalled at, is Sigmar. Because if you look at any modern Warhammer stuff, you would be forgiven for thinking that was the only non-chaos god there was. Wasn't in the initial game. This came out alongside 3rd edition Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and Sigmar still hadn't been invented. Was created in a supplement for this game, the Enemy Within campaign, as a minor local cult.
Yep.
And has now
It
become
counts.
the main religion of the Warhammer universe.
Love it.
The religions that you do have, you've got Ranald the Trickster. Always been very fond of Ranald
There we go.
myself.
Page 190. Sorry, I couldn't find it. I've just found it. Page 191. There we go.
The city that we are coming into at the moment is devoted to Ulrich, god of, if I remember rightly, battle, wolves, and winter.
Yep.
That's where
That is
City of
correct.
the White Wolf comes from. Ulrich's favourite form, other than humanoid,
Ulrich of the White Wolf.
was a white wolf, or is
Makes
a
sense.
white wolf.
Does
He was
Outdoor
guided to
have a
this place
patron
by
deity?
Tal, who is a wilderness type of god, a god of nature and wild places.
He's gonna love me.
Favoured adventurer gods, obviously Shalya or Shalaya, depending on how you want to pronounce it, goddess of healing and mercy.
Yeah. Sorry.
Mamidia, goddess of war.
Oh, hello. Nice to
To a
see.
certain extent, more god of death.
More god of
Unlike
death, to some degree, I suppose, yeah.
Unlike in most settings where the god of death is an evil god, here he's neutral.
Yeah. They've actually got the Death God right in this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Makes a nice
quite fond
change.
of playing more worshippers, actually. I have played the cleric of more before.
You've got Verena, goddess of learning and justice. And there are some lesser deities as well. Oh, I was wrong. He is in the core rulebook. Sigmar Heldenhammer gets one paragraph and no description of his cult at all in the core rulebook under lesser deities.
Ooh.
Sigmar Heldenhammer, patron deity of the Empire. Sigmar was an early king in the area now known as the Empire, who led an alliance of humans and dwarfs, which finally brought the Goblin Wars to an end. Revered as a hero for centuries within the Empire, he is worshipped as the patron deity of the Imperial family and of the Empire itself. There is a great temple to him next to the Imperial Palace in Altdorf. The worship of Sigmar is tightly woven in with the politics of the Empire, and his chief priest, the Grand Theogenist, wields great temporal as well as spiritual power. The faith is neutral in alignment, and that is literally all the information we get.
Does Altdorf, you got me doing it now.
Does Altdorf
Jordan.
Altdorf don't talk like that. This is a Mootish accent. Well, I don't know why you're talking like that. You ain't from Moot.
This is the problem. I've been associating with you lot for too
You're
long.
from Altdorf. Yeah, that's more like it. Yeah, that's an urban Altdorf. Well spoken, educated Altdorf.
Yes,
Altdorf.
I think that's where
can't
we're going
read.
to be going. Yes, I think we're going to be going with that. If only because I just love the idea of the pit fighter who speaks like this. So, does Altdorf have any patron deities? Just out of curiosity, because otherwise I'm going with
Altdorf is the capital of the Empire and the home of the Imperial family, so Sigmar
No, stuff that then.
is the patron deity of Altdorf.
Let's go with an actual god.
Real god.
So, I'm not so sure that I would have any particular one god that I was following heavily. But how many gods were there in total? Because
There's a fair few. I mean, there's the main gods, of which there were 7 or 8.
Believe the elves have their own religion, don't they?
they do.
I'm scanning through looking for that.
I was going to say, none of those seem particularly...
Yeah, we only sort of briefly touch on non-human deities in this book. There is Liadriel, elven god of song and wine, which is not the only elven god, but is the only one in this book. You need source material on elves to find others.
Elven god of song and wine, huh?
Yes.
Well, that sounds pretty appropriate.
That doesn't sound too bad for an elf trained in song or at least trained in music.
Well, all elves are a bit musical, though, aren't they? I mean, it's the point of being elves.
true.
Oh yeah, it's a required skill.
Yeah. There are no strictures attached to the cult of Liadriel, since restriction on behaviour are foreign to elven psychology. The GM should note, however, that he or she is likely to be offended by behaviour which is detrimental to the elven race, such as the destruction of forests or revealing the location of elven settlements to non-elves.
Mm-hmm.
No particular holy days. He or she is worshipped whenever elves sing or drink. It says he or she because Liadriel, really, how can you tell? It's an elf.
He, she is androgynous and appears as an elf of surpassing beauty.
Androgynous, or elf, as it's also known.
Yeah.
We might as well just go with they for Liadriel.
Yeah.
Liadriel strikes me definitely as
Cult
a
of
they
Liadriel
pronoun.
is open to all adult wood elves. They're on good terms with the rest of the wood elf pantheon, though we're not going to tell you who those are. Are hostile only to the natural enemies of the elven race.
Yes. We don't actually talk about them.
Just looking through my stuff that I got from the... Don't think I actually got anything on elves. I've got dwarves, stone and steel,
Yeah.
but no elfy stuff.
Dwarfs, really popular dwarfs. People like a lot of information about dwarfs. A lot of it turns out to be bollocks, but...
Well, they're not Welsh for a start.
Well,
Dwarves should be bloody
Slanesh
Welsh.
does have a certain amount in common with Liadriel, Mechiador. It's got to be said.
Oh god, we're back to chaos again,
I
are
mean,
we?
you can refer to Slanesh as he/she if you wish to, and be
Yep.
entirely accurate.
Yep. Not at all inaccurate.
I don't. This is where I'm slightly falling down because I don't actually know a lot about the various chaos deities aside from Must Kill Now.
Well, that's reasonable because your character would know precisely zip about the
Yeah.
deities of chaos.
Yeah, makes
Probably
sense.
not even their names.
Okay.
Knowing the name of the Chaos Deities is an excellent way to find yourself being burned by a man in a long coat and a tall hat with 2 guns who hangs out with an elf, a dwarf, and a human soldier.
Soldier, yeah, fair enough.
Now, the main book only really mentions the Chaos Gods with a paragraph each, and doesn't mention Slaanesh or Tzeentch at all. It only hits on Khorne and Nurgle of the ones that everyone knows. You also get a very small paragraph on Malal, but that's it. That's all there is about Chaos in the core book. Fortunately, somewhere amongst my shelves of books downstairs, I have the Realm of Chaos.
Realms of Chaos.
Yay.
That sounds like a secret doorway into...
Not saying that they went heavily into the whole
Chaos.
Chaos thing in Warhammer, but the Realms of Chaos sourcebook ended up as 2 because they couldn't fit it all into one book.
Yeah, I only got the first one.
I've got the first one in print and both of them in PDF.
Ah. I'm going to have to borrow the second one off you just for a quick scan through, because the first one was primarily Khorne, wasn't it?
Yeah, they split the gods between the 2 books, and I can't remember who was in the first one. I think it was possibly Khorne and Tzeentch in the first one.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Chaos Warriors and your mutants are then covered.
But yeah, as far as elf gods go, I don't have anything beyond what's in the core book, so
No, this is fine.
Excellent.
Symbolised
as Liadril is symbolised by a lute and a wineskin. The cup is also frequently used as a symbol. Their clerics dress in green hooded robes, richly embroidered in gold thread with a variety of symbols, including vine leaves, musical instruments, fruit, and so on. So yeah, very much fruits of the forest and the booze we can make from it.
So they're basically Bacchus worshippers.
It seems, yeah.
So we can expect drunken brawls amongst elves.
There are no particular holy days to Liadril. They are worshipped whenever elves sing or drink, which is frequently. Great feasts are held on the night of every new moon in Liadril's honour, though it's not clear whether these are holy days in the human sense or just regular feasts at which Liadril is honoured.
Excellent. We're going to have an alcoholic elf who dismembers ferrets in order to perform his rituals. Excellent. Well done.
In order to determine which route to take.
Which route to take? Do we go left or right? I don't know. Sorry, unzip a ferret.
Surely rather than just having the compass ferret, do you not have a ferret named Compass and then stake it to the ground and see which way it runs?
Yeah. It has to happen.
Yeah, the others have names like Mr. Bitey and Scratchy McScratchy Face, but this one is called Compass.
Ferret called Ballbreaker.
He's
my word.
never released from that string and stick. That's a
He actually wears a little harness with the string looped round it, so you know that you can all you do is you just pick him up like a yo-yo. He goes spinning down towards the ground, and you just loop the string over the stick. It's an efficient way of doing it.
This is brilliant.
And he still considers it superior to the other ferrets. You know, he basically has rank. He's not going to get gutted when he needs to know whether or not it's going to rain.
It's the only ferret with tenure.
God, if any animal lovers are watching, we like animals, okay? This is purely in-game.
As was the poor things that happened to the dogs in the Witcher game. That also was purely in-game.
I was purely in-game. I am not in any way, shape or form anti-animal. And my Google search histories into intestine length are completely irrelevant.
And yes, Dav, this is going to be an absolute blast. It's not going to go where I thought it was going to go, which is how all the games turn out. You think, right, okay, I know where they're going to be. I know roughly what they're going to do. No, completely out the window. I know where they are. That's it.
In my experience, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay has always been a game which is an even mix of laughing out loud, being terrified for your character because the combat is genuinely lethal, though not as bad as The Witcher, and horrific because this is a dark world. It is a grimdark. Yeah. This was grimdark before grimdark was a thing.
Yeah,
but it's grimdark with a really solid sense of humour.
Yep.
I mean, Games Workshop always denied that it was anything more than coincidence, but somebody did once write a letter to White Dwarf claiming that they were obsessed with toilets where the dwarves were concerned. Even the dwarf language is Kazalid, but if you slightly alter the pronunciation on that, you get Kazilid.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it's toilet humour.
Yeah.
Excellent.
No, this is, I think, going to be a fun little game.
Yeah.
I'm already in my mind adjusting what I had lined up for you guys to match the party that we've got, because it's completely nothing like the party I was expecting.
It's a game that's very easy to play. Most of the time, all you're having to do is you roll percentile against one of your stats. If you roll equal to or less than the stat, you have succeeded.
Yeah.
You might sometimes get a bonus based on your skill, because a lot of skills cover specific situations rather than adding totally to the stat.
Jakar, I doubt
that's
very
the
much
core
you'll throw a
rules.
spanner in the works, because I've got 3 of those sat at the table right now.
Yep,
It doesn't work at the moment. Throw as many spanners as you want.
Yeah. We are indeed a bag of spanners.
Yep.
Mad as a bag of spanners.
Yeah. Also, just on the game front, I really like that although these are both grimdark fantasy games, this feels so different to The Witcher.
Very different to Witcher.
Yeah.
It's very, very different
Yeah.
feel. And I think that's nice. I wasn't exactly concerned, but I did wonder if perhaps we'd be over-egging the grimdark pudding, as it were.
I think
But
the
no,
sense of
it's
humour
very
that
different
Warhammer
feel.
has always had makes a big difference.
Yeah, it adds a bit of levity.
I mean,
Yeah.
stuff in-game humour. This is not just fan stuff. This is in the Middenheim sourcebook, in fact, for the city that we are going to be playing in. There is a sport in the old world called snotball. This is basically football, except that the ball is a snotling, the smallest form of goblinoid, bound hand and foot and used as a ball. So they take this poor little green bastard and kick him around the streets, trying to get him into a couple of battles. This is a popular and common sport.
Oh, God, Coral has a new way of making money.
Who's going to win the next Snotball match?
Yes.
For those of you that have played Blood Bowl, whilst Blood Bowl is very heavily based on the Warhammer world, it doesn't take place within the Warhammer world.
It's a step to the left, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of a parallel universe.
Oh boy.
But I think it's probably something that evolved from the concept of Snotball, of Games Workshop saying, how can we make a board game out of this? It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Suddenly, my treatment of ferrets doesn't seem so bad.
It doesn't, does it?
Perfectly normal, yeah.
I know, right?
Brilliant. Right.
Right, we have characters. Now, rather than jump straight into a session that only has maybe an hour or so, hour and a half or so to play, I think if we finish early tonight, then next session we'll have a good long stretch of things to do and fun I can throw at you.
Excellent.
So, yes, indeed.
So I guess before we do any sort of sign-offs, Jakar, I know you want in, and I'll chat to you offline about it and take you through character creation and such. Anyone else got any questions? Anyone else watching think, you know what, I fancy a go at that, because if you can see my screen, I've got 2 positions vacant there. Mr. Jakar's looking to blag one of them, so we've still got a spare seat if anyone is interested in joining us. If you're a little shy about saying anything now, that's fine. Drop me a DM and we'll chat offline. And the next time I'm running this will be in 3 weeks. Next week, Fishy is running Coriolis.
If I just
Week after that,
click
Drut
this
is
in
running
OBS,
Nibiru.
Next week, oh look at that, I haven't got the players, so I better go back again. But there you go. That's what you'll be looking at next week, but with players on it.
I hesitate to move mine around because it'll change where everyone's face is.
After Nibiru, I will be doing a character creation session for Castle Falkenstein.
Ooh.
For Martel Saurian. So I will be looking for maybe an extra player or 2 for that. I've got the 2 chaps. I've also got somebody else interested in playing, if we can make the timeline up, which works for me. So hopefully he'll be in on the character creation. And so yeah, I will have a seat or 2 free if people are interested in some swashbuckling steampunk magic alternate Victoriana.
Sounds like fun to me.
It does rather.
I just need my
really
character
does.
to know Batitsu.
Yes, absolutely. Well, by the time I actually get to run it, probably have done the flaming
I
course.
know what we're talking about, yeah.
Yeah. Victorian Savat.
So with that, I think I shall thank you all for watching us for the evening. And I've got to say, I'm looking forward to how this turns out. This is going to be fun.
Yes.